Well, hello, guys and girls. Welcome to the live watch along of Juan Francisco Estrada and Jesse Rodriguez. Now, this is the main fight, of course, today, but I've got to say, at the moment, actually, before I get started here, there's Big J in the chat. I'll get to you in a minute there, Big J. Apologies, you did ring me on Friday, and I'm sorry there was a bit going on the last few days, so I will give you a call tomorrow, I promise. So apologies, mate. I don't like to not get back to people, so apologies about that. But we are doing a dual watch along here at the moment. On one side, I've got DAZN here for Estrada Rodriguez. At the moment, we have the girls in action. Yamalith Mercado up against Ramla Ali for the WBC World 122-pound title. And on my other screen over here, I have the Foxtel on at the moment with the Teofimo Lopez Steve Claggett fight. Hasn't actually started yet. The good thing about it is, though, is that it's going to work out really well. At the moment, we've got, let me just bring up the event here. Rabisi Ramirez up against Brandon Benitez for the WBO or NABO featherweight title. So that's a 10-rounder. They're currently in round number 10. The girls are currently in round number 5. So if it all pans out right, we should be able to have, because Sonny Edwards is on next. I don't know about you. I'm not overly wrapped about that one, considering that it's probably guaranteed to go 12 rounds, because you're looking at the records. We've got Sonny Edwards 20-1 with 4 knockouts, and we've got Adrian Curiel 24-5-1 with 5 knockouts. So you can be guaranteed that's going to be a 12-round snore fest, if you want to call it that. I mean, I don't mind Sonny Edwards, but I don't think he's as big and brash and good as what he says he is. But so hopefully the way it all pans out is we have the Teofimo Lopez fight going as the Sonny Edwards fight is going, so we can cover that. And then we'll get into my main fight of the day, which is Estrada versus Rodriguez. And how do we see it? I think it's going to be a great fight. Big fan of both these guys. Estrada, obviously, from the old school. He's been around a long time. He's fought the likes, of course, of Chocolatito and Run Versailles and Cuadros and you name it. He's fought them. Sonny Edwards, of course, as I just said, and also Bam Rodriguez. He's had Big J. Good question. I do apologise for that. Actually, while we're going here, I'm just wondering why I can hear myself. My live has started on my own channel. There you go. Sorry about that. I was wondering why I could hear myself. I'm looking around thinking, hang on, if there's something going on I haven't seen, but it's the YouTubers. I must have had it open on my page, and it's kicked into gear as I've gone live. I leave it with me, Big J. When I ring you tomorrow, just remind me. I did have a look through the stuff. All the stuff that I had uploaded was gone, but my other actual video camera, there might have been a bit on that. Anyway, I'll have a look. Anyway, I'll let you know, Big J, and I'll screen it on here. But so yeah, that is the state of play today, guys. As I said, we're in round number 3 of Ramirez and Benitez. Haven't really had a good look at it yet. I've actually been watching the girls. It's actually been a pretty good fight so far. So, but once the Ramirez-Benitez fight is over, we will switch gears into Lopez versus Claggett, because I think that will still, even though I'm not overly excited about that fight, I'm going to be quite clear about things. I am excited for Lopez. Sorry, I'm not overly excited for Lopez and Claggett. I've just got a feeling it's going to be a little bit better than Edwards and Curiel. We've got a couple of viewers in the comments there. I'm not quite sure how many we'll get today. I understand that. The reason we're doing this, I love watching the fights. I love having, even if it's one person to watch along with, to comment with and exchange opinions and everything else. So I'm not really stressed about how many we get on, but I'm thankful to. Looks like we've got a couple in the show anyway. Damien, how you going there, mate? What's that? Are you cancelling your American trip and going to England for the Joshua fight instead? Yeah, I would love to, mate. The problem I've got is it was booked a while ago, and I'm never going to do it again, by the way. At the start, I think I've said it on here a couple of times. I get away twice a year, and I saw the flights on special earlier in the year, so I've gone ahead and booked them because they were on special and Qantas, all the rest of it. I wasn't quite sure when they were going to come on, and I booked the flight. The problem I have now is if I go to not, or if I go to cancel, I'm going to be up for some big money. So I'll just have to wait and see. Well, now this event's been actually announced, Damien, I might actually look into it. They're around the same time. The Canelo fight, and this is the other thing to go along with it, by the way. I've booked flights from Melbourne to LA and then on to Vegas. The problem I have is that now they're talking that Canelo might fight in Saudi Arabia or somewhere else. So I don't know, but I can tell you one thing though, Damien. If he fights William Skull, I don't care what it costs me. I don't care if I lose half my money. I'm going to cancel that fight and maybe look to go to England, because strangely enough, England is actually cheaper than America at the moment. I don't know why. So, but it's not a bad card. That I know there has been a little bit of pushback as far as the American fans. It always seems to revolve around the American fans, doesn't it? And I know they're such a massive part of the sport, but there's a lot of pushback that the undercard wasn't really appealing to American fight fans. I actually thought it wasn't too bad. I haven't actually. I'll see if it's up at the moment. Let's have a look. I know there's Liam Smith and is it Shiraz? No, Shiraz is fighting someone else. Hang on. I only just quickly browsed over it yesterday. All right, where are we? Anthony Joshua. Let's have a look. We'll view the whole card because we've got a little bit of time to push. We're in around, what are we on the other one? Just forgive me if I go back and forth here, by the way. We've got Lopez and Claggett on this side. Currently, Ramirez and Benitez are in round number 4. I don't know how the fight's going because I'm going back and forth. As I said, I've been watching the girls. It's actually been pretty good. I don't mind Yamalith Mercado. She's 23-3. Ramla Ali is 9-1. Hasn't been a bad fight so far. All right, so with this event, I'll quickly get through this so we can get some more comments here. All right, so Joshua Dubois, Saturday, September 21st. Now, the other thing I've got to consider too, Damien, is that the Mighty Blues might be in the grand final that week. What do I do? It's a week after. It's preliminary final weekend, Damien. So Dubois, Anthony Joshua. We've got Liam Smith, Josh Kelly. That's who I was thinking of. Liam Smith, Josh Kelly on the undercard. Tyler Denny, Hamza Shiraz. That'll be a good fight. Anthony Kasase. Always get that wrong. I get pulled up. I say Kasase, but it's Kasase or something. I don't know. He's fighting Josh Warrington. That will actually be a good fight as well. That's for the IBF World Super Featherweight title and IBO title. Joshua Buatsi and Willie Hutchison. Not a bad fight. Not so sure I know much about Mark Chamberlain and Josh Padley. But look, end of the day, are we getting a little bit spoiled these days where we're looking at the undercard, and if your undercard doesn't go too deep, we're all up in arms a little bit about it? And I know we've been sort of conditioned. We are in round 7, by the way, of Mercado and Ali. I'll get some more comments as we go there. Sorry, guys. But we have been conditioned over the last few years where it's just about the main event. You might get one maybe good undercard fight. Sometimes you'll get a couple of prospects or whatever it might be. But are we getting a little bit, as I said, spoiled that we haven't got 4 or 5 really good undercard fights instead of 1 or 2? I must admit, at my stage of life, I'm just interested mainly in the main event. That's why I really tune in. And that's why sometimes I might get a little bit caught out with an up-and-comer or whatever it might be that I miss or haven't sort of taken too much notice of. Because unless they get to a certain stage, I'm not overly, as enthusiastic as I was in years gone by about knowing every single fighter on the way up. So on that card, of course, Joshua and Dubois is the big one. I must admit, I'm not overly stressed about Liam Smith and Josh Kelly. However, it will be a good 12-rounder. Tyler Denny and Hamza Shiraz, yeah. Shiraz, I'm pretty high on. Not so much on Tyler Denny. He's lost a couple of fights, drawn 3 times. So, but again, I'll be tuning in for the main event. And that's really it. So I know with the whole Saudi thing at the moment, we're expecting the UFC type of event where we've got 4 or 5 really good fights on it. But I'm not that stressed. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'll go through some more comments there. Still with Damien. Well, the TO fight is actually on Foxtel. Yes, it is on at the moment. 5 rounds. This is a 10-rounder, so 5 rounds to go until we're on the Lopez and the Claggett. And look, I will say on that, Damien, as well, even though I'm not overly stressed about the fight itself with Claggett, he's lost 7 times or something. I looked at his record the other day. I have seen him a couple of times, but yeah, he's 38-7-2. I'm not that stressed about the fight itself, but the fact that we've got another fight on Foxtel, I'm just looking at Mark Kriegel, the on-air judge, has got Ramirez in front 40-36 over Benitez. So I think that's pretty stock standard the way that one's going. But the fact that it's on in the first place, Damien, especially with football and everything on today, we've got 3 games in the football, including my mighty Navy Blues, who hopefully will be starting as the main event ends. So, but I'm with you there, mate. What's that there? Is the Shakur fight on next weekend? Holy shit, about damn time they start having all the events on. Well, in the off season, Damien, it's not too bad, is it? We get them on, but during footy season, it's bloody hard. It really is. I think maybe at the moment, because basketball's finished, or the NBA, the Stanley Cup, I think NHL was finished as well. So maybe that's why they've got a spare slot or two. But yeah, I think we get a little bit hard done by down here in Australia. Look, even worst case, allow us to get the ESPN Plus app here in Australia would be good. Having said that, I think if you've got a VPN, we should be able to do that. I'm going to look into that because I've got the VPN with Surfshark. So I'm going to look into that. So even if it's not on, you can get the ESPN app, the Plus app, and watch all the fights, whether they're on or not. So we'll look into that one. But yeah, I'm not sure about Shakur, Damien. I will check that out, mate. What's that? Big J, just wondering why you're covering this fight, not the TO one. Well, I think I've just explained that, but TO is far more significant in the eyes of Australian fans as Para versus TO is a way to go via unification. Yeah, that's not a bad point, Big J. Look, the main thing is that I understand that probably Lopez has more significance for Australian fans, but I'm not looking just through Australian eyes. I'm looking as far as a fight fan's eyes goes, and for me, Estrada Rodriguez is a fight. It's a great fight, and so I'm not. I understand where you're getting at there, mate, but yeah, there might be some Paro-TO ramifications down the track, but until that happens, I'm not too stressed. I think most people will be watching either one right now anyway, and don't really need me to do the watch along. But I just think Estrada Rodriguez is a much bigger fight and a much more entertaining fight. Claggett, as I said, he's 38-7-2. Let's have a quick look at his record while we're going there. I had a quick look a couple of days ago, but so look, he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fight winning streak. So yeah, and he can punch. His last loss was back in 2021 when he lost to Mathieu Germain, I think that was. So, yeah, look, I don't know, he's a Canadian. I think he's fought out of Canada only a couple of times. Yeah, predominantly in Canada, a couple of times in the States. But that's the reason why Big J is because Rodriguez and Estrada is a much bigger fight. Nico Ali Walsh got a win in the rematch against old mate that beat him. Was that the guy that beat him? I did watch that. I thought he actually did it quite easily this time. Scored a knockdown in the third despite popping his shoulder in the final round and survived. Yeah, 58, 55, 57, 56 times 2. I didn't actually know that, Big J. I did watch a fair bit of that fight. Oh, yeah, you can see him trying to pop it back in. That's a tough guy. He's actually punching his arm to get his shoulder back in. That is one tough guy. Regardless of whether you think he's a hype job or whatever, that is very impressive. Let me have a look. Oh, there it is there. All right, so the scores, 57-56. Some of the other fights on the card, I didn't actually see them. The telecast started a bit later, but with Elvis Rodriguez won a 10-round decision over Yino Rodriguez. Not sure if these have any significance. I don't think so. That's probably the other. And Jan Santana had a 10-round decision over Brandon Valdez. So they're probably the other main fights. So it's interesting that Nico Walsh is in his 10th fight. Was that his 10th? He's now had 11 fights and fighting a 6-rounder. How does that work out? I can't respect him until he starts stepping up into proper fights. He's had his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights were 4-rounders. His next 2 were 6-rounders. He had an 8-round no contest against Danny Rosenberger, and his last 3 fights have been 6-rounders. So I don't understand how you've had 11 fights and you're still fighting 6-rounders. Doesn't make much sense to me. But anyway, I'm sure they've got a plan for him. Where have we got there? Big J, banned by KO, Estrada, too long in the tooth. I think he'll give a bit better performance than what we might expect, Big J. I think Estrada, look, he's a champion's champion. And he has, I'm just going to quickly bring up I'm just sort of going off from off the top of my head with his fights with. His last fight, this is probably the main thing for me, which is why I strongly favour Rodriguez, is because he hasn't fought in 18 months. His last fight was against Chocolatito back in December 2022. He did fight only 3 months before that, but had been out of the game 18 months before that. That was against Chocolatito as well. So his last few fights, Chocolatito, he had the Cortez fight in the middle there, another fight with Chocolatito. Carlos Quadros was another one in there. He's fought him a few times. He beat Estrada. Now, has he fought? Maybe I've got that wrong. He didn't fight Rungvisai. Maybe I've got that. No, I don't think he has fought him. There you go. I must have mixed that up, guys. I thought he... Oh, hang on. Yeah, okay. They've got his proper Thai name up. I'm looking for Rungvisai. I've got to... I watched that fight. But his box rec name is Wisaksil Wangek. Is... Rungvisai's a bit like the Thai coming to Australia to fight Sam Goodman. All right, we're in round number 10, by the way, of the girls. Mikado Ali. Round number, what are we? I can't see up there at the moment. They haven't got, I think that was the end of round 6 between, who's that there? Is it 6 or 7? They haven't brought it up yet. Sorry, guys. I will fill you in once I get... All right, so it's Rabizi Ramirez and Brandon Benitez, but they haven't brought up the round. Anyway, but we're into the last round of the girls. I'll keep you updated what's going on there. Yep, McAllister still ducking. Yep. I'm actually thinking about doing a show with some other creators out there, and I was thinking about actually asking Jai to come on, Big J. Not so much the guests, but other creators, other shows. D-Style does it really well on the round table in the States, and I was thinking about maybe doing something similar here in Australia where we have other shows. Who would it be? Well, let me know anyway. But Jai was probably one of the ones I was thinking of, Big J, with his own channel. So what's that there? Disregard comment concerning Tio. Thought you're... Yeah, okay. Sorry, mate. Yep. What's that, Big J? Lucky Essendon never... Essendon never sniffing a prelim final again. We are a bunch of dipshit losers. Damien, what has happened, mate? Come on. It's round 16, mate. You're in the top 4, I think, still. Isn't that just Essendon to a T, isn't it? Last week you're hanging shit on me about how great you are, and you've had one loss to Geelong, by the way, which is no disgrace. 10 seconds to go here, by the way. I was disappointed in your boys last night, though, I will say, Damien. We softened them up for you the week before, beat them by, 60 or 70 points. There's the end of the fight, by the way. And, a little bit of pressure last night from the Cats, and the Bombers has folded. So really disappointing for your Bombers, mate. And they did it last year as well. They're going to do it again this year. There's some big teams coming at them at the moment. Brisbane, Bulldogs, and they're all coming. Gold Coast might be looking to get in there as well. Who knows? Adelaide. So let's see if the boys can hang on. I, for one, I will say, Damien, I'll be honest, love seeing the fact that that you lost. But on the other hand, I love the fact that you're in the top 8 and was the top 4. It's good having Collingwood and Carlton and Essendon in there, mate. So we'll see what happens. Still a long way to go. Here we go. Big J, you're dreaming if you think the Blues are going to the grand final. There's more chance of the chump getting in the ring with me. Agree with the undercard comment. A strong card needs a solid undercard. Yeah. There's Kane Mac. How you going there, Kane? Loving the channel. Did box the Paul Gaddy back in the day. That name rings a bell there, Kane. That name does ring a bell. Paul Gaddy. Fill me in a little bit more there, mate. That name does ring a bell. I've been out since 98. That was the last year I competed. That name really does ring a bell. Yes, Tom, I am doing the TO fight. So we've got at the moment, here we are. We're in round number 7 of Ramirez and Benitez on this side, and we've just finished the girls' fight on DAZN on this side. I'm not quite sure. I'll give you the scores as we go, but yes, because next is Sonny Edwards, and I would much prefer, as much as I said, the Lopez Claggett fight is not really making me jump out of bed in the morning. I will be covering that. And we have had a knockdown over there. Hang on, it's decided to freeze on me, by the way. Isn't that always the way? I'll just reboot it over there. This is going to happen, by the way, with 2 streams going at the same time. They're both on my computer at the moment. So, all right, so just waiting on the scorecards from the girls. Mikado versus Ali. So I'll let you know the scores there. And it looks like we have a knockout in the other fight. I think I'm not just seeing who. Ah, yeah, there you go, Kane. Yes, Paul Gaddy. Yes, I do remember Kane. I didn't actually go on any trips or anything with him, Kane. I do remember him, but I didn't actually get to know him very well at all. No. Now, Paul Gaddy. Did I go on a trip with him? I'll have to have a think about that, Kane. It's a long time ago. It would have been the mid-90s if that was the case. What's up there, Big J? I'll be happy to come on your version of the round table. Yep. Well, you're representing the T Street boys, aren't you? What's it called? T Street 1000 or something? Let me know. But yeah, just maybe I'll ask D Style if we could be the round table Australian edition and have the Australian content creators cover. And as I said, I'm not really after. I mean, you've all seen Tassie and Peter Maniatis and Mike Altamura and all that on there, and that's great. That's for another time. I just want other creators who have their own channels. Yeah, maybe I'll run it by. We can have the Australian franchise of the round table. I'd like to actually get guys like D Style on our show. The problem is when we're doing our live shows, then they're tucked up in bed. All right, so that one has come to an end on. I'm just looking to see. It was a knockout. It must be round 7. Yeah, good. I think it was Ramirez. I can't. Yeah, it looks like Ramirez is the one who got the knockout. Rabisi Ramirez with the 7th round knockout of Brandon Benitez. Oh, sorry, mate. T Street controversy. Fight View 360. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. No, that's cool. We can do that. What's that, Kane? New to channel. I heard you mention Justin Crawfish. Yeah, Crawf. I was going to say, is a spell check there, Kane? Yeah, no, Justin Crawford. Yes, I know Crawford very, very well. We went on, just trying to think, probably half a dozen trips together, including the Olympics and Commonwealth Games together, World Championships once. We went to Finland together. The first time I actually met Crawford was at the 93 Oceania Games, and he was one of my heroes. He really was. I was new to the team. I was only 19 or 20. He'd been on the team for, I don't know, probably 4 years or whatever at that time, and had been to the World Championships in 91 and the Olympics in 92. So he was a real hero of mine, Crawford. So it was great to actually meet him in 93, go on my first real international trip with him to Western Samoa, and then we went to the Worlds together in Finland later that year, and it was just myself, Crawf, and Robbie Peden. So you can imagine how that went. We had a bit of a wild time, and then I went to a couple others over the journey, England and where we go, might have been South Africa as well, and then Atlanta, and then my last trip with him should have been the '98 Commonwealth Games, Kane. But I'm sure I interviewed Crawf on this channel a couple of years ago about this. He got pulled at the last minute, which was heartbreaking for him. He never actually got a chance to finish up. He never even got a chance to say goodbye to the team, Kane. We were a day or two away from leaving to go to Thailand for our training camp before the '98 Commonwealth Games in Malaysia. And the morning we went to get on the bus to go somewhere. Might have even been to go to the airport. I can't remember. But we got on the bus and the announcement was made that Crawf would not be attending and he was gone. So we didn't even get a chance to even say goodbye, which I think was pretty piss poor from the Australian officials there, Kane. But I have caught up with him in the past, and as I said, I interviewed him here on this channel a couple of years ago about that. So go back and check it out. Probably not the greatest interview. The technology wasn't overly great from my end a couple of years ago, but and my internet wasn't great, so it was cutting in and out. But go back and check it out, and you'll see what he had to say. Sounds like Big J wants a boxing match bad. Yeah, he's been on about it a while, hasn't he, Damien? Yeah, hasn't he? What's that? Kane, what weight? I was welterweight, mate, so I was 67 kilos. Yeah, that was me back in the day. At the I'm just trying to think of the bigger tournaments. So not obviously the biggest one was the '96 Olympics, the '98 Commonwealth Games, as I said, '93 World Championships in Finland, and the '97 World Championships in Budapest, Hungary. That was. Plus there was others. England, South Africa, as I said, obviously New Zealand. Where else? There's too many to name anyway. Came, but yeah, it was a great time to be around. Yeah, mate. Tom, he won Ali. This is. Oh, sorry. That was that the girls? I think she. After all that, I missed I missed the result. Sorry, guys. Oops. Hang on. We'll just see if it'll refresh on BoxRec. Sorry about that. Yes. Yamalith Mercado with a 10-round decision. Here I am too busy talking about myself. I missed the result. With a 10-round decision over Ramla Ali. So that was for the WBC Super Bantamweight title. The scores 98-93, 97-93, and 98-92, all for Mercado. Was that Andy? Did you fight in Samoan games? And if so, what year? Yeah, the Western Samoa, Andy, in 93. That was my first ever international tournament. And I just couldn't believe, Andy, at the time, just getting up. And even though it was only the Oceania Games, it was not like it's anything massive. But I had 4 fights. I actually did it quite tough. 4 fights in 4 days. So it was a pretty tough week to be there. And I still remember just the thrill of getting up there. And again, I know it was only the Oceania Games, but getting up and hearing the national anthem and standing on the podium, for me, that's all I really ever wanted to do growing up, was to stand on a podium with the Australian national anthem going. And even though it was only the Oceanias, I got quite the thrill with the gold medal around the neck. It was awesome. I'm not sure what you're sorry for there, mate. Don't be sorry. What are you sorry for? Yeah, no, all good, mate. No, thank you. All right, guys. So we are at the end of fight number 3 on the card. We had the undercard that was on, and I think it was on at about 9:30 this morning. So we're on to about the main card now. As I said, Sonny Edwards on the other channel, Lopez and Claggett. They'll be getting ready to come into the ring at any time. Who have we got? What do we think? Now, it's going to be hard. Now, just as I said, just with this one, I'm going to be predominantly watching to the point. I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to switch channels for a second. There we go. I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to be watching this side, which is going to be Lopez and Claggett. Because I'm going to be doing this. All right. So Lopez and Claggett is going to be our main attention for the next hour or so, guys. And then we'll switch over to the Estrada Rodriguez fight after that. So who we got? Give us your predictions. What do you think of AJ and Dubois being announced? I think it's the worst kept secret in boxing. Any other news you might be looking at? Liam Paro, I saw, has just arrived home. Tim Tszyu, they're talking about maybe his next fight coming up when he'll be back. So there's a fair bit going on at the moment. All right, Big Joe. We'll keep humouring you there. What's that? Oh yeah, that's all good, Kane. I get called worse, mate. Don't stress. All right, Big J, to be clear, the chump McAllister started this as he reckons he can beat me as I'm a breakdown, beat-up soldier, but I've got to give up this young fella a good flogging for the principle of it. Well, we get him on the show, Big J. You guys can duke it out. I don't want to have an hour or two, though, of you two going at it, though. We might give you 30 seconds or a minute at the start of the show, and then we're on the business. Who else should I have on the show, guys? And they've got to say yes, by the way. I'm sure they do. That's why they're creators. Where they want like we all want our heads on TV and let everyone hear our opinions. Who else in Australian boxing, in the YouTube or Instagram, whatever it might be, in the interweb world or whatever you want to call it? Who should I request to be on my little Australian version of the round table? Let me know. Because Jai was the first one I probably thought of. Anyway, let me know, guys. I'm sure you guys are all over it. And Big J, yep, we can definitely look at that as well, mate. Andy, I was at Samoan Games in 97, 98 for basketball. There you go. Lost in finals, so got silver. Yeah, that's awesome, mate. Because it used to be, it wasn't the Samoan Games, it was the Oceania Games in Western Samoa. Wow, that's I didn't know the Samoans actually played basketball, Andy. I know I'm pretty sort of narrow-minded, but yeah, that's awesome, mate. Good stuff. All right, Kane says he's got Bam, but wouldn't be surprised if Estrada pulls off the upset. Well, this is the thing we're all got to get our heads around, guys. I know there's probably been a lot of things said. We've had the year and a half out of the ring, which is obviously a big one, especially when you're, I think, 34 or 35 years of age. That's obviously got to be a factor. But these fighters are great fighters for a reason, because they don't just let age get the better of them. They don't just let some young upstart take over their crown. They're pretty stubborn. They've got big egos. They've got pride, but more than anything, they've got heart, and this is what's going to be an ability, of course. And this is why I think Estrada is a big chance. Rodriguez has done everything he needs to so far. We'll have a quick look at his record. So just on. Actually, well, no, it still hasn't started yet with Lopez and Claggett. So on the main event, so we've got Rodriguez coming off the stoppage of Sonny Edwards back in December. That was for the IBF and WBO titles. Flyweight title. So he's going, hang on, this is Rodriguez. Now, what have we got here? So he's going, is that right? He's going, no, sorry, he's going up. Okay, Superfly, sorry. All right. So he beat Edwards for the flyweight world title. Before that was Christian Hernandez, Israel Gonzalez. He had Rung Vasai, which is again on there as Wisaksil Wanget. I think it is. Quadros before that. So he's had a pretty good resume leading up to this one. And I applaud him because he's taken all those fights against the aging stars and got him out of. The only one he hasn't fought so far, of course, apart from tonight, of course, is Chocolatito. Will that fight happen down the track? They've been pretty friendly in the lead up to it, sparring partners, of course. But when it comes to boxing, business is business. So I would fully expect that if Rodriguez beats Estrada in this fight, we might see the Chocolatito fight down the track, as they've got the ringside personalities at the moment on screen. This is Lopez and Claggett I'm talking about. Fernando Vargas. Quick bit of trivia for you two guys. I might have said on here before as well. Fernando Vargas was in my division at the 96 Olympics, and I missed him by one name call. So he was the bottom of Group A, and the last pick of Group A. I was the first pick of Group B. So I could be sitting here saying I fought Fernando Vargas at the Olympics. As it was, I fought just a guy from some country called Kazakhstan, and got a bit of a touch up, if I'm being honest. So, hey, good learning experience though it was, I can tell you. Great, and at that time, the Russian thing had just happened, the split. I had no idea what Kazakhstan was or who they were. I just knew they were somewhere from Russia. Little did I know that they can fight all right over there. They can fight all right. So it's bringing up the current world champions in this division. We've got Isaac Cruz in the WBA, Alberto Puello, newly crowned WBC champion, of course Teofimo Lopez, and our man Liam Paro with the IBF belt. All right, tail of the tape on the other one. Sonny Edwards, Adrian Curiel up at the moment, so they shouldn't be too far away. But again, this will be our focus for the next hour or so. Will be Teofimo Lopez and Steve Claggett. All right, a couple more comments there. All right, Big J, the tribal chief is a pussy, can't hold a candle to the final boss, The Rock. I'm not sure. Did I miss something there? All right, Big J. Tim needs to fight. Murtazliov, Russian names, for the IBF belt. Zoo needs a belt to get back into the mix. It's a good point, Big J. You're spot on, because the thing at the moment is, look, in this day and age, even though I suppose us as fans, we don't really put a lot on the belts these days. I think, let's face it, I think we're more interested in such and such fighting such and such. We don't really rate the belts. I remember back in the day, though, it was, the WBA, WBC, and all the things that went with it, the prestige. I don't know about you guys, but for me these days, belt, whatever. I just want him to fight him, and whatever belt they fight for. I don't care if there's no belt at stake as long as the best fight the best. But the fighters still seem to have, and quite rightly so, the whole thing, the aura, I suppose, of having a belt, and I get that. So when it comes to Tim, unfortunately, if he hasn't got a belt, do you really blame the Fundoras and Spencers and even Crawfords and Madramovs and Charlo? Well, Charlo's probably, he's not even really in the equation at the moment, but for not even wanting to fight Tim, because let's face it, he's a massive risk to those fighters. I still think he's the best fighter in the division. Well, Crawford and Madrimov will probably be, and Crawford's obviously in the top 2 or 3 pound for pound in the world, so if he wins, you would probably say he's number one. But if Madrimov beats Crawford, I know it's a long shot, but a lot of people giving him a chance. If Madrimov beats Crawford, it makes it really, really fascinating of how it all pans out. But the main thing is, like you say there, Big J, is if Tim hasn't got a belt, why would those guys even consider fighting him? It's not like Tim is a superstar name over there. Yes, he's known, he's respected, but he's not a massive name over there, and not being a massive name doesn't equate to pay-per-views and purses and all this sort of stuff. So I would think they would not want a bar of Tim or even consider Tim if he hasn't got a belt. And Murtaz Azliov is the perfect fight for him because he hasn't really got anything. Or has he? Has he got something teed up? I'm not thinking of someone else. So makes perfect sense to him. Fight Tim at the end of the year, and then we're back. Or Tim's back. So a lot can happen overnight. It did happen when he lost to Fundora. It was like the world just came crashing down. But all it takes is to get that one belt back, and he's back. So, all right. So Lopez is about to make his ring walk here. He's in the change rooms at the moment, just putting the finishing touches on his preparation. Says this. Well, there you go. We even got the countdown clock. 3 minutes and 35 seconds. All right, and it looks like Sonny Edwards on this side is about to make his entrance as well. So forgive me if I still keep going backwards and forwards. Lopez will be our main fight, but I will give you a bit of an update on what's happening with the Sonny Edwards fight as well. All right, so we've got Andy. Sorry, mate. Oceania Games in Samoa. Okay, took a shortcut word. Didn't get to catch much boxing, so it was full on. Yeah, it's an awesome time. And when you get to the Pacific Islands, they're just such beautiful people, and I had a ball in Western Samoa. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I loved it over there. The people were great. Yes, it's third world and they're very poor, but I had a ball over there. They put on one of the, what is it when they put is it beef or pig or whatever, they put it in the ground. They did that for us. Oh, it was unbelievable. And yeah, as I said, it's third world. You see some pretty horrific sights in the streets in some of those countries. Thailand was the same. This is in Bangkok. But yeah, just had a ball over there. All right, Achilles, how are you there, mate? I don't think anyone is avoiding Zoo. He's a big name, and I think Crawford and Madrimov beat Zoo. Okay, that's an interesting way. I don't think, when I say avoiding Achilles, I'm not saying they're avoiding him because they're scared of losing. I'm just saying that it's probably a business decision to avoid him because it just doesn't make any sense. Why take a chance against one of the best fighters in the division, in my opinion, the best, but at worst case in the top 2 or 3? Why would you take a chance against him if you've got no belt on the line and not a big purse and everything else? So that's probably what I mean by avoiding. I've always been of the opinion that those big names don't avoid each other because they're scared of them or anything like that. They avoid them because it's a business decision to make. So, all right, Kane. I was talking to Big J. All right, so you watched the T Street controversy. 12 years. It's been going that long. Okay. Yes, Achilles, thank you. Yep, so if you're watching, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Apparently it helps. All right, Samoa is the best island in boxing at the moment. Opatara and Parker are currently better than anything Puerto Rico has right now. That's a really good point there, Achilles, because I mean Puerto Rico is, or has always been known as one of the the premier boxing countries, but geez, with Opatara and Parker. Now, are they both Western Samoan, Opatara and Parker? I know that they're both Samoan, but there is American and Western Samoan. So I remember back in the day, especially when I was around, there was an American Samoan fighter. Is it Maz? Masalo or something his name was. He was a very, very good fighter. I'm pretty sure he might have even went to the Olympics as well. So he was from American Samoa, but I think Achilles Opatar and Parker might be Western Samoa. But either way, Samoa is Samoa. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, just beautiful people over there. All right, I actually believe Madrimov is the best at 154. Okay, I can't say Bud because he hasn't fought there yet. Kurbanov and Soro are solid guys. There's some really good guys in the division, Achilles, and I suppose you could put Ortiz in there as well, Virgil Ortiz. So he might be fighting. What's his name? All these Russian names always get them. But hang on, just let me know in there, guys. Burachuk, yes. Russian names. They're harder for me than Thai names sometimes. So yeah, the main thing is at the moment, Achilles, it's probably the hottest division in boxing at the moment. I know 140 is definitely hot as well, but I would think 154. It's going to be really interesting to see how the dominoes fall as the year and probably the next 18 months go, who's going to actually come out on top. But the good thing about it is the amount of great fights that we have coming up over the next couple of years is, I think it's just going to be just unbelievable. So, yeah, look, I'm still just on Madrimov, though, Killers. I'm still to be sold on him. He's had, 11 fights, I think it is. And I know he's had an extensive amateur background and very accomplished amateur and everything else, but Crawford's a different situation for me, and sometimes, as they say, levels. I just think Crawford's going to show why he's at this level, and Madrimov might just be that level below him. And I still think Crawford Tim is the biggest fight in the division, but when you've got Madrimov and you've got Virgil Ortiz and you've got Burachuk and you've got Spence Fundora in there as well, it's going to be a fascinating 12 or 18 months to 2 years, I think. Oh, thanks, Andy. There you go. Pork in a hungy. Yes, that's what it was. It was a hungy. And they put it on for us the last night. We were there after we'd all competed, of course. So there was no more weight watching. It was good. So we're about to have the ring walks of Claggett and Lopez. Excuse me as I scratch my nose again there. We have started the Edwards and Curiel fight. We're in round number 1, about halfway through. And as I said at the start, I got a feeling this one's going to go the distance. One's got 4 knockouts, one's got 5 knockouts. So, all right. So on this fight, Teofimo Lopez coming off a win over Jermaine Ortiz back in February. Before that was the win over Josh Taylor, and before that was the win over Sandor Martin. So he's got some solid form, some really solid form. Claggett coming off, I think I said before, what was it, 9 straight wins? What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight wins. So look, I suppose you could say he's earned his shot, but none of those opponents, in my opinion, are any world beaters. I mean, the records look okay, but sometimes the ratings, you just don't know what you're going to get. Yes, Bo Hardchuk. Thanks, Andy. These Russian names, I'm just bloody hopeless. Bolachuk, yep. What's that? Murtazaliov beat Kurbanov, shows he's no slouch too. Yeah. Look, it's fascinating. It really is fascinating in that 154-pound division. What's that? Achilles 135, 140, 154 are definitely the top divisions right now. Well, 135. I mean, with Tank and Loma and Shakur Stevenson. I mean, geez, if they actually share the ring with each other, and there is talk that Davis and Lomachenko might happen in October, November. Wow. Now that is a fight you'd be tempted to jump on a plane and go and see. That would just be magic. It really would. Davis and Lomachenko. That'd be worth cancelling the September trip, I reckon, guys. keep the cancellation fee because I'm going to Loma and Davis. That'll be awesome. And then we've got Shakur Stevenson as well. 140, of course. Depending on what Ryan Garcia does, I think he's history. I think even Devin Haney might be history at 140 as well. He still has that WBC belt, although he's now champion in recess. Puello has the belt now. So does he come back and want to fight Puello? I don't think so. I don't think it's a big enough fight for him. Some good fights for him at 147. I think, to be honest with you, Haney's in a really difficult situation because I think he's still just cutting a bit too much weight to get to 140. He's a decent sized guy. I've met him in person. He's actually a good sized guy. I was looking at Teofimo Lopez, who's about to come out. He's got what looks like a tuxedo on with a bow tie. You got to give him some credit. He's a showman. He really is. But he's not big enough, in my opinion, at 147. So it's almost like he's in no man's land there. Maybe Ryan Garcia and Haney wait the 12 months, maybe fight at a catch weight of 144, 145. Who knows? But I just think Haney might be a bit big for 140 and a bit small for 145. But I think, I can't remember who it was the other day. Was it Porter or, might have been Sean Porter or Paulie Malignaggia, one of those guys who Bradley, it might have been Tim Bradley, when he was talking about taking a year off. I do agree that he shouldn't take a whole year off. If it has to take another 6 months just to regroup, get his thoughts back, whatever it might be, that's fine. But just a whole year, that's a long time out to lose your momentum. I know Garcia is forced to do it. But Haney, I would think, take another 6 months, come back in, have a tune-up or two, and then reload from there at whatever weight feels comfortable. Madrimov is a work in progress still. Yeah, I agree. Achilles, he has all the ability. I just don't think he can put all the pieces together yet. Often these amateurs need to spar more Mexicans to get ready and transition. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Achilles. Look, he looks really, really good so far, especially his last fight. He did look very, very good. But Crawford's Crawford. I mean, he's... How many fighters have you seen that look great and come up against the real superstars of the sport and look very, very ordinary? And look, he might give Crawford a really good fight. I'm not saying he even has to beat Crawford, but if he could give him a really, really good fight, it would be good enough to me to say he's legit. But yeah, I must admit I'm a little bit perplexed as to why so many experts are actually picking him to fight to beat Crawford. I mean, a lot of short memories there. I know Crawford's been out for nearly a year, but geez. Just do yourself a favour and get on YouTube and watch the Spence fight again. Wow. Just amazing. All right, so they're doing introductions at the moment. Both fighters in the rings is Teofimo Lopez and Steve Claggett. On the other side over here, we've got Sonny Edwards and Curiel, round number 2 of 12. And not a hell of a lot happening at the moment. Curiel coming forward, Edwards on the back foot. But we've got to flip the coin, and it's Lopez and Claggett, I think. All right. The Mexican style is something not really seen in the amateurs. I think that's a big reason why Loma, Usyk, and Gvozdyk all moved to Robert Garcia's gym when they turned pro. They moved to his gym, Achilles, but they didn't actually train under him. But they would have been sparring with, obviously, all the Mexicans. Not so sure Usyk would have been, or even Gvozdyk. They're not like there's many Mexicans around that size. But I remember Achilles, again, I've said on here before, we were there in 2015 with the Maloney twins, and both guys sparred with Loma at Robert Garcia's gym. And Loma had, at Garcia's gym, they have the main gym, and then upstairs they have a little area that they can actually block off from down below, so you can't get up there. You've got to have... And I think they might even have security or something. I can't remember anyway, but we were allowed up there because the Maloney boys sparred Loma. And it's almost like Loma trained at the gym but didn't really train amongst the rest of the gym. He did his stuff upstairs. No doubt, as I said, he would have sparred a lot of the Mexicans there. But for Usyk and Gvozdyk, yeah, who knows? I'm assuming, yeah, Usyk and Gvozdyk did their training camps there as well, but obviously they would have probably brought in sparring partners. I remember, though, when we were there for the Maloney's, the amount of sparring partners the guys had, it was limitless. There's probably 10 different guys they could have sparred. Just amazing. And Garcia was such a lovely guy as well. Just opened his gym and hung around and talked to us for hours. He was a great guy. Really, really good guy. What's that, Achilles? The size difference between Loma and Haney was insane. Yeah, well, you got to remember, Loma would have... What's the weight limit? 135. Loma would have got in the ring at probably, I don't know, 142, 143, if he was lucky. And Haney would have got in the ring at probably 160, 165. It's a hell of a lot of difference. You're looking at over 20 something. That's 10 kilos or whatever it is for us down here. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's happened here. We've got a bit of a glitch, have we? Oh, that's the sound of the other fight. Just occasionally I'll get a bit of a it'll stop, but it's all good. I'll just refresh and we'll go again. Yeah. All right. So we're back live. Um, yeah, but you could definitely see that the size difference. And I still think Loma won the fight, Achilles. I really do. I know it was close, but I think Loma won 7 rounds to 5. What's this? Kane, by the way, Khan the power. Come on, Kane. Come on. They're playing today, aren't they? I think. Are they on at the moment? I think. Where are they? I think they are actually on at the moment. I can give you score checks here. There you go. Score check at the moment. Port Adelaide, 26. St Kilda, 21. There you go. Score check for everyone that wants to know. I'll just put that to the side so I can keep an eye on that as well. So, yep, there's the score check at the moment. 4-2-26 to 3-3-21. Kane, you're probably watching it anyway, but... All right. Achilles, I don't think Haney is small for 147. He rehydrated to 165 against Prograis and Loma. Yeah, that's a good point. He doesn't lack the size. He lacks the power and durability. Yeah, look, that's probably a good way to look at it. And we've just started round one. Sorry here, guys. We'll keep you up to date. I'll keep the questions coming. To start the fight, Claggett actually comes out quite strong. Lopez, as he always does, just cautious, flicking out the jab and looks to be on the back move at the moment. Yeah, no, it's a good point there, Achilles. You're right, he does just like the power and durability, not necessarily the size. So I'll get to some more comments as we go there. But we're in round number 1, Teofimo Lopez, Steve Claggett. Look, I've got to say, straight away you can see the class difference. Claggett looks a little bit tight for me, and Lopez looks very comfortable, just sidesteps there and poking out the jab. You would think that Claggett would go hard early, and then the class of Lopez, you would think, would take over. Claggett can punch, but not necessarily a big puncher, if that makes sense. So Lopez just feeling him out. Claggett, look, he's coming forward at the moment. I'll give him that. Ripping and hooking, but Lopez looks pretty comfortable. He's got that stance, of course, where is it the peekaboo? No, not the peekaboo. The almost the Philly roll or Philly shell. Is that what they call it? Philly shell. Being very aggressive, Claggett. But again, as I said, Lopez looking very comfortable. He's looking like he can see his punches coming at him at the moment, and he's poking the jab, having a good look at Claggett. He would know a lot about him, of course, but these guys, they'll take 2 or 3 rounds to get the groove, get the timing, and then you would think he would turn up the gas. Looks very, what's the word for Claggett? Very one-dimensional, I think you would say. Nice and tight, it's coming forward. He's got a nice, tight defence, but just doesn't look like he has the class, I don't think, to go with Lopez. All right, so 30 seconds to go in round number 1. Just started round number 4 with Edwards and Curiel. Look, you could almost make a case for Claggett winning this first round just by pure work rate, but not a lot coming back from Lopez. It really, you can see he's just, I think, looks like he's just taken a round, just almost take the bit of steam out of Claggett, and he'll start picking it up from here. But look, I'll give that round to Claggett just by work rate, I think. All right, Achilles. I hear stories of Loma just being something else during those years. It's a real shame the Mikey Garcia fight and the Tank fight escaped him in the air. Well, I remember him back then. That was that 2015, so 9 years ago. Oh, he was just something else. And look, granted, the Twins were only a couple of fights into their careers back then. They would have been in their early 20s, I think. But I just remember watching Loma, and it's almost like he just hypnotizes the opponents. It's just his movements. It's like nothing happens unless he makes it happen. The Maloney's weren't the only guys he sparred. All the opponents that he did spar, it was almost like they were just in some sort of hypnosis. at the time. He just had them on a string, and a really lovely guy too, by the way. But yeah, it is a shame those fights didn't happen. But he was just absolutely brilliant Achilles, and he was training to be on the Mayweather Pacquiao undercard. That was on when we were over there, and that was his last spar. It might have been, I think, with the boys. All right, so round number 2, Lopez actually landed the most punches in that round, strangely, but Claggett's still coming forward. All right, hey, there we go. We've got our first thumbs down of the day. Good on you, mate. I hope you feel really good about yourself for the day. You've given us the big thumbs down. Appreciate it. Some people. All right. Oh, there, Achilles. So you're watching as well. Yep. I said he looks quite crude. That's what I'm trying to get at. Good description there, Achilles. He's definitely come to win. He's having a go, but it just looks pretty mechanical at the moment. He's got a nice tight defence. I don't think Lopez has really landed much on him. And Claggett has had some success, especially he's landed a couple of good hooks to the body, little uppercuts in close. At the moment, Lopez looks like he's quite content just to be on the back foot, be on the ropes. But the thing we'll look at here is with a fighter like Claggett, I'm not sure why you would want to just lay on the ropes or even stand still in the centre ring. This guy looks pretty one-dimensional, but he's come to fight. So I'm not quite sure why Lopez would just be standing there giving him just an easy target to swing away at when he could be giving him movement to the left and to the right. And just not standing in the one spot. Now he's actually in the corner. It just makes it a little bit easier for Claggett. That's better. Now he pivots out of there and but then goes back to the rope. So yeah, Lopez starting to find his range now, having a lot more success. Looks a little bit more content now to actually trade with Claggett. Claggett though, he's come to play, no doubt about that. He's going to the head and body. Good fight so far. 40 seconds to go in round number 2 I've got here at the moment. And we're at the end of Sonny Edwards playing over there. We're into round number 5 in Edwards versus Curio. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I'll see who the judges have got winning at the moment. All right, so 20 seconds to go in round number 2. I'll get to a few more of your comments in between rounds. Look, a better round for Lopez. I think he's got the better of this fight. Claggett has you can obviously his game plan is to come forward and just pretty much cut down the space and not give Lopez any room whatsoever. It's the end of round 2 there. I just thought Lopez was probably a little bit classy with his punches. Dug in a few little cheap uppercuts and hooks in there. So I'm going to give that to Lopez. That's a round each at the moment. What's his name in? It is and always will be Australia, New Zealand. Yeah. So there, Achilles. Big advantage Americans and Europeans have us over in New Zealand and Australia. They can really get such a variety of sparring that helps them prepare and develop. 100% Achilles. I mean, when we were there, we went to Garcia's. We were at Wildcard. We were at Mayweather's gym. The amount of sparring that I think when we were over there, and Jade Mitchell while we were there as well, by the way, I was sparring with Miguel Cotto at Wildcard. Andy sparred with a former Filipino world champion. I can't remember who it was. They both sparred with Lomachenko while they were at Garcia's. They both sparred. I can't remember who was the Russian that fought Billy Dibb. They sparred him as well, and this was just within a week. Just going around the gyms and just amazing. Anyway, great. Round number 3. Yeah. He's definitely in the fight, no doubt about that. Achilles, thanks, Simon. Appreciate that, mate. As I said, I've got it 1 round each, but Claggett has definitely come to fight. He's what he's trying to do is he's trying to cut Lopez off whenever he tries to move, whether it be on the ropes or in the corner. And when he's in there, he goes to work. And Lopez at this stage has had just a little bit of trouble getting off to the sides. And maybe this is the game plan as well. It's just to keep the work rate up. Because Lopez doesn't necessarily have a high work rate. He likes to fight at his own pace. So maybe this is the game plan from Claggett. Is to really take Lopez out of his comfort zone and make him fight 3 minutes of every round, which he doesn't necessarily normally like to do. I will say, though, so far, Lopez is going with him. And will the extra class from Lopez be a factor down the track? They're in the corner at the moment. Both guys landing some good shots. Lopez seems quite happy to trade in close with Lopez at the moment, with Claggett at the moment. And so far, it looks like Claggett he's throwing more punches. It just to me looks like Lopez is still landing the cleaner punch. Nice punch there, 1-2, and then a right uppercut to finish off from Lopez. So round number 3, we're halfway through. Got the ESTRADA and Rodriguez warming up on the other screen over there. Good fight so far here. Really good fight. Claggett coming forward. He's not showing any signs of slowing down. Close round. A minute to go. Thanks, Big J. It's all good. You're always going to get one, aren't you? Look, I think it's a tough round to score. Again, Claggett the more aggressive, throwing the more punches, but Lopez just looks like he's got a little bit more class. That right uppercut is starting to land as well. Yeah, he's Lopez. He's really targeting the left and right uppercut at the moment. There's always one, Damien. Don't worry, mate. There's always one peanut out there. But anyway, it makes them feel good. Then good on them. Good hook to the head and body from Claggett. We've got 10 seconds to go. Round number 3, and I'm liking it at the moment. It's a good fight. Good combination from Lopez to finish, and tough round to score. Look, I'm going to give it to Lopez, although I would have no argument for anyone that gave it to Claggett. It just depends on how you see it. I just thought Claggett, even though he's more aggressive, threw more punches, I just thought Lopez was a bit cleaner with the punches he threw. Some really good little uppercuts landed in there. So I'm going to give that round to Lopez. So I've got it 2-1. That's that, Damien. Miss Miguel Cotto, he was awesome. Yep. He was actually paying Jade Mitchell to spar with him over there. The first time they sparred, Jade obviously just jumped in at the opportunity. And by the end of it, I think he might have sparred with him 4 or 5 times after that and was getting paid $100 a round, American. So he was on holidays over there for a training camp, getting paid probably $600 to $800 American per day to spar Miguel Cotto. If you can, and the ironic thing is that Cotto was actually in training to fight Daniel Gill at the time. I'm just going to take this off here, guys. I get a little bit warm in here at the moment. Got the door closed and the heater on, so. All right, here we go. Round number 4. Yeah, Kane. Yeah, well, as I said, man, I gave Claggett the first round just by work rate, but definitely the last two to Lopez. And what will happen, you would think, as the rounds go on, that Claggett, if he keeps this up, he's going to fatigue, he's going to tire, and Lopez will start to find his groove. And if he just keeps coming at Lopez, he'll just become pretty much a walking punching bag at the end. So we'll see how we go. Still hasn't changed the work rate, though, or his game plan. He's walking up to Lopez. The thing is now, though, is Lopez, again, we're in round number 4, does look a lot more comfortable and relaxed in his timing there. That's a good right hand Lopez lands. A 1-2 to the body. Oh, and we're looking at the other fight in round 6. Edwards with a bad cut against Curiel. And they're sending him out for round number 7, but he's got blood everywhere at the moment, has Sonny Edwards, and it looks like it was a accidental headbutt. I'll keep you filled in on that. So round number 4, we're just nearly halfway through. And Lopez looking really good this round. Looks like he's got his range, his timing, allowing Claggett to come to him, and he's just ripping and hooking and uppercutting inside, doing a really good job at the moment. It just looks comfortable. This is the Lopez I like to see. Though he is in the corner at the moment and allowing Claggett to go to the head and body. I'm not quite sure how the judges have it at this stage, but I'll give you an update when it comes on the screen. I agree, Damien. Don't get me started on HBO and Showtime, mate. I miss them, especially HBO. The Zone's okay, but commentators, just the whole production, nothing on HBO. Good body shots from Lopez and another right uppercut inside. Good shots from Lopez. Really good shots. And Claggett's still coming forward, but again, as the fatigue kicks in more as the fight goes on, you just think Lopez is just going to get better. All right, so just at the other fight there, big cut on the forehead of Sonny Edwards. It has been ruled a head clash, so we'll see what happens there. The problem I see here is that I don't mind Claggett's game style, though Lopez starting to tee off on him now, is that it just doesn't look like he's got the power to hurt Lopez. It's one thing to have the work rate, but if you haven't got the power to at least hurt Lopez, I'm just not sure whether he gets it done. And Lopez a really good round, head and body, uppercuts, hooks to the body. So I would say Lopez again for me. So I'd have him 3 rounds to 1. Could even be 4-0 to be honest, but I'll give him 3 rounds to 1. All right, so on the other fight, round number 7, quick score check at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. I feel like the old days on radio. St Kilda 5-5-35, Port Adelaide 5-4-34, and the Blues are up in about an hour and a half, which is beautiful timing because we've got 5 rounds to go in Edwards and Curiel, and then we're into Estrada and Rodriguez. Is that Achilles? Is that the same referees for Liam Paro? Okay. Wonder if Claggett respects him. I don't respect him at all, mate. Is that no? It's not. Is that the? It's not. Is it the Liam Paro referee? I didn't ever take any notice, mate. Sorry. DAZN's horse shit. This event kept on freezing. So go on the freeze site, working perfectly. My year is up. I'm done with DAZN. What's going up? Now the scorecards, they have Lopez winning all 4 rounds at the moment. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of DAZN, Damien. For me, it's it's what is $140 a year now. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's only $12 a month or something, but still, a lot of other apps we've got to have at the moment. So some of the punch stats: punches thrown 328 to Lopez, 309 to Claggett. So he's actually thrown more punches than Claggett, which is really hard to get your head around, really, because to me it looks like Claggett's been the one putting all the pressure on. It's just that Lopez has had the class. They're a minute into round number 5, and so far Lopez just looking at home and just starting to really get his groove at the moment. Claggett not throwing as many punches now as what he was in the first 4. Good right hand snuck behind the gloves of Claggett there from Lopez. Goes to the body. And some jabs as well. So, yeah, mate. Well, I paid the 75, was it last year, for the full year? And I've just had a notification to say from the middle of July it's going to go to 140. So it's almost going to double. That's for the whole year. I mean, $12 a month. I mean, if you watch all the fights, I suppose it's worth it. All right, so round number 7 as well in the other one, 10 seconds ago. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I'll get a bit of an idea when they put the scorecards up. But we have just over a minute to go here. Lopez and Claggett. Claggett really has slowed down now. Does look fatigued, not having any of the success he had earlier with his cutting down the range. And Lopez is now starting to actually push him back a little bit as well. So, look, and what do we think about this too, guys? What's this? I'm going to have to VPN. This is cozy. Yeah. Get the VPN, guys. It's a way to go. It could be, Damien. I'm not sure. I paid 75 last year, which is why it's 140 for me. Maybe if you're 140 at the moment, it's going to go up again for you. I don't know, but that's about the limit for me. I'm not sure I'll even pay that, to be honest. Yes, good call, Damien. So 25 seconds ago, round number 5. Another good round from Lopez. Really just doing what he wants at the moment. And I will say Claggett has been extremely brave so far. He's come forward. He's really put the pressure on Lopez. But as I always say in this sport, there's such things as levels. And Lopez is definitely a level above Claggett, I think. And look, to be honest with this fight as well, guys, I wouldn't have cared whether Lopez knocked him out in the first round or knocked him out in 8 rounds or wins a clear-cut decision. The choice of opponent to me is still subpar, and I'm disappointed that Lopez would actually take this fight. And not, there's so many other good fighters around at 140. Why he would want this fight? So I know sometimes there's stipulations from the sanctioning bodies and all that sort of stuff, but I don't know. Surely we could have done a little bit better than Steve Claggett. I know he's on a 9-fight winning streak, but such good fighters around in this division at the moment. Yeah, Damien. Yeah, so most of the So how would it work though if you haven't got a subscription with DAZN? Would you? Oh, okay, pay per view on say Foxtel or something like that. Okay. I was just going to ask the question if you haven't got DAZN, how do you get the pay per views? I'm not sure whether it's like KO where you don't have to have a subscription. You can just buy the pay per views. Achilles, that jab needs to be more active. He was landing that jab at will on Lopez. Yeah, well, that's what happens with fatigue, though, mate. He's just starting to wind down a little bit. He's fought at an extremely high pace and hasn't won a round. So, all right. So in the other fight, round number 8, Edwards and Curiel. Edwards still with blood everywhere on him at the moment. Not quite sure how that fight's going, but I'll keep you updated if any scores flash up on the screen. So in the round number 6 here, I agree, in Kane. He does need to get him out of there, I think. Yeah, Lopez looking very comfortable at the moment. But I'm with you there, Kane. I think at this point, I think he's done enough to really show where he's at against Claggett, and now we should be looking to stop him, I would think. Because really, it looks like a glorified sparring session at the moment. Lopez is doing whatever he pleases, head, body. Claygett's struggling to sort of keep up with the pace he had early in the fight. And that, of course, just makes it a lot easier for Lopez. I will give him credit, though, Claggett. He's hung in there. I know we're not even halfway through the fight yet, so he's got a long way to go. But I think the way the fight's going at the moment, I would think that Lopez should be able to get him out of there in another 2 or 3 rounds. Although this is Teofimo Lopez, anything is possible. So hot and cold, not just from fight to fight, but from round to round sometimes. So we are halfway through round number 6. At the end of round number 8 in Edwards versus Curiel. This is going to be beautiful, this timing, by the way. Lopez and Cleggett's going to finish just as Rodriguez and Estrada get in the ring, I think. So, perfect. What was that, Tommy? How are you anyway, Tommy? Lopez representing Spain now. Wow. Spain? I thought he was like Puerto Rican or something, wasn't he? Wow, Spain. I can't really hear the volume here if that's what they were saying. That is just bizarre. Spain. All right, so we've got 40 seconds to go in round number 6. And just another routine round for Lopez. Although, look, Claggett, you've got to give him credit. He's still coming forward. I think whoever said before, he's probably got to start using the jab a little bit more again to get his range to get in close. At the moment, he's just sort of coming forward and it's just a bit of target practice for Lopez as he comes in. But if he gets behind that jab coming in, well, maybe he can get in a little bit safer and do a little bit of work in there. But at the moment, it just Lopez has just got all the answers. Nice little sneaky left uppercut from Lopez there. And another good round for Teofimo Lopez. Look, Claggett, look, he's trying his hardest, but another round for Lopez. What's that, Tommy? Look at his name, the background. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. I just had him flash up on the screen there, and he had a Spanish flag. As I said, I thought he might have had a Puerto Rican heritage, but there you go. All right, in the other fight, coming out for round No, I think the fight has been stopped. That's not what we want with Estrada and Rodriguez, but if they do come out, I will be switching just to give you the heads up. So it looks like the fight has been stopped, and it will most likely go to the scorecards, I would think. No, Edwards is holding up the arms of Curiel. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's just in respect. I'm not sure. They definitely ruled it was a head clash, so you would think that we will be going to the scorecards. Let's see. All right, we're about to enter round number 7 of Lopez versus Claggett. Yes, you are right, Tommy, on the little thing they put on there with the time and everything. Lopez, Spain. Claggett, Canada. Oh, I can see they've got Chris Algieri there as the commentator. I don't mind Chris. Geez, you got to give Claggett all the props. He's really come to fight. The problem is that Lopez is just that little bit too polished, I think. Oh, there you go. Yeah, thanks, Damien. You're right because he was didn't he represent Honduras at the Olympics or something like that? Good call. Thanks for that. Honduras. Yeah. Well, how's Spain come into it? It's one thing to maybe represent Honduras, but you've just switched to Spain because you speak Spanish. Is that right, or who knows? All right. So a minute into round number 7. Lopez is now starting just to showboat just a little bit. And Claggett just starting to look a little bit worse for wear. Still hanging in there though. Look, he's still ripping and hooking and coming forward, but that uppercut, or both uppercuts from either side from Lopez, are still finding the mark. Oh, now he opens up a little bit, Lopez. Some good punches there. Tommy, he is a goose. I listened to the round table the other day with D-Style on there, and they were talking about Lopez, and I think they use the analogy of sometimes he'll take a bite of an apple and then have his long-winded philosophy of how the apples are the spice of life, and which makes him the spice of life, and he's God's children, all that sort of stuff, just from biting an apple. Just stay in your lane, as they say, I think, Tiafimo. Just stick to what you know. All right, so a minute to go in round number 7. And in a little bit of a lull here. Lopez, I mean, he's had his moments in this round. It just sort of looks like he's almost taking the round off a little bit. Claggett's still coming forward, but not really having any real effect. As Lopez turns his back there, lucky not to actually wear one from Claggett there. He was kind enough not to hit him while his back was turned. All right, so they're taking the gloves off in the other fight. I'm not quite sure what's happening yet. I'll keep you informed. 20 seconds to go in round number 7. And he's really starting to poke that jab now too, Lopez. And some nice punches to finish the round from Lopez. Claggett tries to go with him, but again, Lopez, I think, gets that round. G'day, Ed. How you going there, mate? Yep, salute to you too, mate. We're covering 2 shows at the moment. We've got Lopez and Claggett to my left. And we have got the Estrada Rodriguez card to my right. We're just waiting on the decision from Sonny Edwards. Excuse me. And Curiel was his name. Adrian Curiel. So just awaiting the decision now, I think. Let's see. All right. Coming to you from this one, I think, is the Estrada Rodriguez fights from Phoenix, Arizona, and Lopez and Claygett's from Miami, Florida. Just how good would it be to be a boxing fan in America? Fights on all the time. You can jump on a plane. You can have a holiday away, go to 2 or 3 shows. It'd be awesome. Anyway, all right, round number 8. Just going. I'll keep Update with the decision with Edwards and Curiel, by the way. This going to the scorecards now. No title on the line. It's just a 12-rounder at super flyweight. And Sonny Edwards gets the decision. I don't know the scorecards, but Sonny Edwards winning by unanimous decision. New record, 21-1 with 4 knockouts. So he's a killer. All right, 30 seconds gone in round number 8. Lopez on the toes now as he's luring Claggett in. I feel like this should have been easier for T.O. Style, similar to Cambosis giving him trouble again. Yeah, it's not a bad call either there, Tommy. I think George is a little bit more polished than Claggett, but yeah, you're right, same sort of style. But I think Lopez, look, he's been okay. Let's not forget, Cleggett's a tough guy, a really tough guy, good chin. He's a real tough and rugged type of fighter, so I understand that. But yeah, look, Lopez has won every round, I think, or bar maybe one. But he's just done everything he probably needs to do. But I'd be disappointed if, what are we, round number 8, halfway through, if Lopez can't stop Claggett, within the next 2 or 3 rounds. He should be at the point where there's enough punishment being put on Claggett that either his corner stops it or the referee stops it. I don't think Lopez has really got the power or anything to really knock out Claggett or whatever. But yeah. Oh, there's a nice right hand from Lopez. And another one as well. Claggett just starting to get a little bit stationary. Beautiful right uppercut there from Claggett. And now Lopez is starting to open up. Claggett on the ropes. This is what I want to see. Lopez opening up and really putting it on Claggett, who looks like he's ready to go. The referee having a good look at Claggett, although now Lopez backs off. 40 seconds to go in round number 8. Big round for Lopez. And now Cleggett's face really starting to show the effects of the fight. Good uppercuts from Lopez. Right uppercut from Lopez. He's a tough boy, Claggett. Geez, he's worn some punches this round. And he still comes forward and he's still throwing punches. I don't know whether that says more about, and does land a good right hand. I'm not sure whether it says more about Lopez than Claggett. That Claggett has been able to absorb everything that Lopez has got to offer and keep coming forward. Maybe a bit of both. But big round for Lopez. Another round for him. 8 rounds to... Oh, sorry, I've got it 7 rounds to 1. Could be 8-0. I'm not quite sure what Sonny Edwards is saying, but he's probably wants to rematch with Rodriguez, I would say. And for the first time, yeah, Claggett actually sat down between rounds. First time in the fight. What's that there? Big J just had a thought. 2 Aussies unification bouts and both IBF, WBO, Jai versus Chris. Paro versus T.O. Your thoughts? Yeah, well, I think Jai beats Billum Smith. Lopez, I'd like to see him against Liam. I think that'd be a good fight. Look, I'll be honest with you, Big J, I would have to say that Lopez, even as good as Liam was, I'm certainly not trying to rain on his parade. This is one of the best wins by an Australian boxer. I just think Lopez might just be a little bit polished for Lopez. But as George Cambosis showed, you put it on him and you don't allow him to intimidate you and you back yourself and have a crack, then he is susceptible to being beaten. So, and Liam Paro has a lot more going for him than Steve Claggett. A lot more tools, and better puncher, better technique. So we have to keep that in or take that into account. But I just think Lopez, he tends to fight to the level of his opposition, really. And I think against someone like Liam Paro, you would see the best of Teofimo. And I just think, even from what we've seen tonight, he's been pretty good. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Liam Paro. I just think Lopez might just at this stage just still have him covered, but you just don't know. All right, so a minute into round number 9. Oh, good punches from Lopez. Double hook and an uppercut. And Claggett just sort of stopped in his tracks. Geez, his game, though. He's still coming. Still coming forward, trying his best. But look, even though I don't think Claggett probably deserved this opportunity, I really admire the fact he's come to fight. He's trying to take his opportunity. He just hasn't just been able to measure up with such a good technician like Lopez. We'll keep you updated. Hopefully, the Estrada Rodriguez fight starts just after this one ends. What do we got? 2.5 rounds to go. Three and a half rounds to go. Lopez just looking a little bit gassed at the moment as well. It's been a tough fight, really fast pace. But if you can't get Claggett out of there, I suppose you still have to have some doubts about whether Lopez is one of the premium 140-pounders. I know he's got a belt. He's allowing Claggett to keep coming forward. He's still throwing. I would have thought by now, especially after that last round, that Lopez might have got him out of there this round. All right, so no sign of the fighters just yet. So 30 to go in round number 9. And look, it hasn't been the greatest of rounds by either fighter. Lopez has, again, looked like he's taken the round off a little bit. Cleggett's still coming forward, but not really having a lot of success landing. It's almost like a default round to Teofimo Lopez, I think. And that is the end of round number 9. Well, his dad looks pretty happy with proceedings, but if I was him, I'd be saying, Teo, let's really step it up and try and get this guy out of there. I know you don't want to take risks when you've pretty much won every round, but you've got to make statements in fights. And when you're in with a lesser light like Claggett, you need to really step up and get him out of there. He did land some really good punches early, though. Some good uppercuts and hooks. And even on the ropes, showing some really good defense in there as well. I suppose, look, to break the whole fight down, it's pretty much gone the way you would expect it to go. That Lopez is pretty much having his way with Claggett. Cleggett's been game, he's been tough, he's had a crack, but Lopez, again, is just levels above him, and the only thing now is to put the cherry on top and get him out of there. That Big J. History repeats as Fighting Harada lost to both Lionel and Johnny, Johnny Famishon, almost 60 years ago. Teo could suffer the same fate, losing to George and Liam. Yes. Yeah, no, you're right. And Rose and Famishon never fought, and maybe George and Liam would never fight either. It's interesting, isn't it? All right, so round number 10 of 12 for the WBO 140-pound title. So far, been pretty much a shutout for Teofimo Lopez. Well, nothing happening in the Estrada Rodriguez fight just yet. Neither fighter has entered the ring, so we might get lucky and this one ends just as the other one starts. Nice right hand from Lopez. He's still coming forward though, Claggett. He's a tough guy. You almost see the look on Teo's face. What the hell do I have to hit this guy with just to hurt him, let alone get him out of there? Teo just going back to the ropes, just teasing Claggett to come forward, trying to set up that uppercut, you would think. And there's a right hand and a left hook. Nice punches. He's on an underrated defense too, Lopez. I know it's that Philly shell type of defense, but doesn't really get hit with any big punches. Halfway through round number 10. Still nothing going on in the other fight just yet. Nice. There was a right hand from Claggett and then a nice jab from Lopez. And a right hand as well. It's a little bit disappointing, I got to say, to see Lopez, who it's just almost like he knows he's got the fight in the bag. He can do really whatever he wants, and he looks like he's just going to be content just to cruise through to a 12-round decision. I think fighters at the level of Lopez against fighters against the level of Claggett, you really should see the A side guy just really turn it up. And this is probably the difference between those real top pound for pound guys to just guys like Lopez. You see guys like Tank Davis against Martin had a few problems with him in the first 7 rounds, and then when he needed to, he just got him out of there. We've seen it from Usyk a lot of times, Crawford, of course, Canelo. The great fighters in the pound for pound rankings just get it done when they need to. And I'm just, as I said, a little bit disappointed that Lopez is a good way to finish a round, though. Throws about 6 punches, not really many of them landed, but threw 6 or 7 punches in a row. But end of round 10 and another routine round for Lopez. So, yeah, again, this is the reason why I don't think you could probably have Lopez really at the top, because I would think you would see the other good pound for pound fighters, even in the 140 pound division, step up and get this guy out of there. So just interviewing Eddie Hearn over there. So still nothing. They're showing the Joshua Dubois press conference and face-off. All right, Big J. What is it? George and Liam Parra, another huge all-Aussie fight. All Aussie title fights have a history with the IBF. Alice Michael, Chop Gill 2. Yeah, Ebony, Shannon, Susie Q, and Shanika. Yeah, it's good. Good observation there, mate. Would be good. I'm not sure. Well, I was going to say whether George would want to go to 140. He's only a small 135er. But then again, it's money. Big fight here in Australia. But they are friends. This is the other thing you're going to have to get your head around as well. Yeah, bring it to Melbourne. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah, Damien, I think it's a bit of a joke, I think. And as I said, I just think T.O. is just cruising to a 12-round win and he'll just be content with that. Yeah, it's been a really good, fast-paced fight, I will say, for both fighters. And I'm sure Claggett will get some opportunities after this. I know he's had 40-something fights, but he's been okay. I'm not saying he's going to probably get another crack at the world title, but there'll be some other 140-pounders out there that might want to fight with him, because you know you're going to get the round. You know he's tough, he's hard, but limited at the same time. Oh, okay. There you go, Tommy. All right, now I'll get you. Paro and Tio, yeah. I will. Oh, nice right hand from Tio. Yeah, I for one would much prefer to see Liam and Tio than Liam and George. I know it's the bigger Australian fight, but if you look sort of more globally, I think it's George and Tio. Liam and Tio. Would Tio come to Australia? Who knows? And it is top ranked versus Matchroom, by the way. I don't know whether that gets a bit sticky as well, but so halfway through round number 11. And now the boys haven't started the ring walks yet, so it looks like we're going to have some great timing. What's that, George? Paro's New South Wales versus Queensland, so it's got to be in Queensland, Melbourne. It's broke. Well, we are. Big J, no money left, mate. No money. Thank you, Dan Andrews. You piece of shit. I'd like to take that King. It was at the King's birthday medal and make him swallow it, to be honest. But anyway, no politics today. I won't get started on Trump and Biden. That was probably more of a joke. All right, minute to go, round number 11. Lopez on his toes, just jabbing it out with Claggett, who looks like he's almost slow to a walk at the moment. And Lopez, again, I'm just disappointed that Lopez has almost put the cue in the rack and just accepted that he's just going to have a nice, cruisy 12-round decision win. It looks like Bam's got a new tattoo on his face. Jeez, all right. All right, 30 to go, round number 11. And it's just the same old, same old. T.O. On his toes, pot shotting Claggett, who just keeps coming forward and won't take a backward step. Yeah. Now he opens up a little bit, but I think it's too late towards the end of the round. Yeah. End of round 11. And yeah, I think I've got it 10 rounds to 1, if not 11-11. 11-0. So coming to you, yeah, from Miami. Thanks, Andy. Yep. Like, subscribe. I don't care if you give him the thumbs down, but just subscribe, okay? Again, I don't know why someone would go out of the way to dislike a page, but anyway. All right, so we're just looking at the few little highlights of Bam Rodriguez. Just seeing dropping Sonny Edwards there. And Estrada, so many highlights he's got as well. It's going to be a really good fight. I think it's going to be, I was going to say I think it goes 12. I think if he's going to be a stoppage, it'll be Rodriguez over Estrada. I think, in my opinion, he wins a really hard-fought 12-round decision over Estrada, but we will see. All right, guys, so we're about to go into round number 12. And Teofimo Lopez is just, it's almost, again, like a glorified training session for him, a sparring session. All right, so nothing from the other show just yet, so it's going to end up very, very good for us. All right, so again, Lopez not really doing anything to close the show here. On his toes, tying Claggett up. Claggett, to his credit, keeps coming forward. Look, I think Lopez would like the fact he's had a good, hard 12 rounds, but again, at some stage, you have to make a statement. He's had his way the whole fight. He's just picked Claggett off. Claggett, again, has been super game, but apart from a couple of occasions where he might have just got Cleggett's attention, hasn't really looked like he's hurt Claggett, and he's landed some big punches. So a minute gone in round number 12. Yeah, that's a joke, Kane. Tia wants to fight Crawford, jeez. What's that, Andy? Tia fights better counter-punching come forward fighters. Does bad when he has to be on the front foot. Yeah, good call there, Andy. You're right. Which is almost what George did. George was very aggressive early, got his attention, and after that, he allowed Tio to come forward, who was looking to knock George out the whole time, and George has had his way. It'd be interesting to see if they fought again. Not that I think that'll happen, but as they say, styles make fights. So it looks like the boys are just about to make the ring walks. Which is Bam Rodriguez with a couple of face tattoos. All right, so we've got a minute to go around number 12. I'm going to say, too, it's an impressive back tattoo that Cleggett's got. Got the whole back job there and his arms. And again, I'll say it, full credit to Claggett for coming to fight. He's really put it on Lopez and rips hard to the head and body there. You almost make a case of him winning this this last round, I think. We've got 20 seconds to go, round number 12. Lopez just content to be dancing on his toes, flicking out the jab, tying Claggett up when he gets close. And we have 10 seconds to go. Am I a minute behind? Sorry, Damien. Yeah. Actually, I think what I did last time, and I might try it again. That's the end of the fight there, guys. What I will do, what I'm going to do, oh, hang on, is put it on my phone. Because it's, I think we did this last time, didn't we? I might just, yes, I think we did that last time. Put it on my phone because I was a minute behind. It's a little bit harder watching on my phone, but at least I'm a little bit more up to date. All right. So, yes, that's what I will do. It's not as good as watching on the PC, but oh, yeah. Yep. All right. In there, so I can see what's happening. All right. All right, so not as good to watch it on, but I think at least I'll be a little bit more up to date. Because what we're contending with is the stream delay on the PC and then the delay from me to you. So, all right, CompuBox stats, total punches, landed 33% by Lopez, only 17% by Claggett. 946 punches by Lopez, 822 Claggett. So, just did everything he had to. Yeah, I'm with you there, Kane. It was a boring fight. I mean, it had its moments. It was okay, but so yeah. So they gave on the ESPN telecast gave Claggett the last round, which I thought too, and I thought maybe the first, but I think the best case for Claggett was 10-2. And what I'm going to do also, guys, once this decision gets announced, I'm going to switch to the DAZN app as well and watch it on that, just so I'm not as far behind as what I would be. So I might be 30 seconds instead of a minute. Was it last time we watched the Liam Parra fight? All the comments coming through and everything, and they haven't even got to the decision on my computer, and everyone's celebrating in the comment section on this end. So yeah, Mutsy certainly was, mate. Tio looked pretty good. Claggett was a tough hombre, he was. Yep, Canadians are like the Aussies, are always tough. Just finished the Teofimo fight. Says Larry, hard to punch at someone who's breaking that space. I thought it was a decent fight. Yeah, it had its moments, Larry. I think the first 6 rounds were entertaining, and then after that, once Claggett sort of the wind went out of his sails a little bit, and Lopez started to find his range and everything, I just thought it was sort of a bit tedious the last sort of 4 or 5 rounds, especially when Lopez decided that he was just going to cruise to a decision win. All right, so we've got a unanimous decision, and no doubt it will be Teofimo Lopez. There he is, a winner by unanimous decision. Teofimo Lopez. What will be next for Lopez? Will we finally get a half-decent fight from him? Will he fight Paro? Will he fight Prograis? Will he fight Cruz? Maybe? Who knows? All right, so I'm going to put... I don't know why I did that for, but I'll get my DAZN app so it's a little bit better. All right, start watching. All right, so hopefully I won't have as big a delay. Let's hope I can get a crack in here. Here we go. All right. Yes, that's it. Come on. You can do it. All right. There we go. I'm not quite sure where. Okay. All right. Here we go. So the main event. They're just singing the Mexican national anthem there, I assume. Not sure I'm 100% live because it just lagged a bit there, but we'll see. I'm close. I'm better than what I was on the PC anyway. All right. Thanks, Kane. All good, mate. Just look, the reason we do it, Kane, is that I understand a lot of people have the stream and they're watching themselves, but it's good sometimes to watch it with other fans and put your comments in there and rather than sit there watching by yourself. I think we all have partners who don't give a shit about boxing and don't want to sit there and watch it with us, so this just allows us to do our thing. All right, Larry, Claggett's strategy wasn't dumb at all. He just needed a bit more pop in his shots. He doesn't really have a lot of power. Would like to see Teo versus Paro or Teo versus Catterall next. Those could be great. I'm with you there, Larry. I didn't actually factor in Catterall. That would be a really good fight. Yeah, look, I'm with you. I don't think his strategy was dumb either. I just think, unfortunately, sometimes you can have the best strategy, but unfortunately, I just think Claggett was limited or he's one-dimensional and just wasn't really on Lopez's level as far as skill and technique and that goes. But it wasn't a dumb fight plan at all, mate. I think it was a very good game plan. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the talent to pull it off. That's all. Or, like you said there, the power to pull it off. All right, so we're just about to get into the United States anthem. All right, Andy says, I prefer Liam Paro chase his own legacy for a bit before maybe Cambo later. Paro unification at 141st ASAP. Please. Yeah, I'm with you there, Andy. Look, I think also from George's point of view as well, I'm not quite sure exactly where he goes either, but I would think he would be looking at his options before maybe pursuing a fight with someone like a Liam Paro. Again, you got to remember he's a 135 pounder and not a big one. Liam's a big, strong 140 pounder, and they are friends. They have. I remember when who was it? Paro might have beaten Montana Love, I think it was, and George and his dad were on the FaceTime and all that sort of stuff. Again, I know it's business, and I'm sure they'll get it on if need be, but I would be surprised if they fight. Because I mean, again, I don't mean to even rain on George a little bit, but he's got to regroup himself. Liam has big fights against the likes of Haney and Isaac Cruz and Teofimo Lopez, maybe a Ryan Garcia. I think almost fighting George, apart from the Australian side of things, would almost be a step backwards for Liam. So I'd still like to see that fight. Don't get me wrong, but if I was George, I know it probably won't happen. I'd probably prefer him to go down even the Liam Wilson route. I know Liam's not a massive name in the scheme of things these days, but he has fought for the world title twice. But if he beats Yusuf Dib, it could just be another fight. If he is sort of levels above Liam Wilson, as he says, and what a lot of people think, why not maybe fight Liam and as a big Aussie fight, but also just a fight to get him back on the winners list, because he's had hard fight after hard fight after hard fight. So I would think he would see the Liam Wilson fight as maybe, yes, it is a little bit of a step back as far as the world scene goes, but maybe just give the Aussies what they want, big Aussie domestic fight, and then just see where you're at after that. Because let's face it, since he beat Lopez, hasn't had an impressive performance in his last 4 fights. He's had 3 losses and 1 win, very questionable win. So I would think, I know his ego might be saying that, no, well, I'm the former undisputed lightweight champion. I don't fight the Liam Wilsons of the world, and I understand that. I get it. But you also got to look at where you currently are, not where you've been. And I just think that maybe if Liam Wilson gets past Yusuf Dib, that they might look at that and go, okay, that's sort of ticks a couple of boxes. Gets us back on the winners list, hopefully. Gets a big Aussie fight out there. Gets us on pay-per-view in Australia again. And then maybe see where you're at and go for one of those bigger guys after that. Because at the moment, I wouldn't have thought, well, with the 135-pound division, no matter how you look at it, you would think that, well, Loma's out of the picture, Tank Davis is out of the picture, they're going to fight each other. I'm not sure whether Shakur Stevenson would look at a George Kambosos at the moment. Who's the IBF, the Russian? Is he Bolchuk as well? Barachek, whatever his name is. He might be a possibility, but I think at the moment George is probably, and his team have got to accept where he is, not probably where he's been. So, what's this? I know that was just the one there. Thanks, Damien. Appreciate that, mate. What's that, Larry? Completely agree. He was very one-dimensional. Used the tools he had. Yeah, look, mate, I 100% take my hat off to Steve Claggett. This is who we're talking about. I thought he did as best as he could do in the situation. Come forward, give it his all, and I think if you get out the ring and you've done that, you can pretty much accept the loss. So I remember when I was fighting, even though I was only an amateur, I could accept losing if you went in there and gave you all and you came out with an empty tank. What I couldn't accept is when you go out of there and you haven't got an empty tank. And that's what you've got to live with. But I think in this instance here, Steve Claggett gave his all, did empty the tank and more, and just come up short against a very good fighter. All right, so we've had the the American anthem. We've had the Mexican anthem. And the boys are just about to enter the ring. Another one from Larry. I think Liam could beat Isaac Cruz. Okay. Him against Tio is 50-50 for me at the moment. Liam is kryptonite for pressure fighters. with his style and rhythm. Yeah, it's a good call. It's funny. What I like about Liam is that he can box like he did against Subriel Matias, just as we see Bam Rodriguez make his ring walk. Or he can come forward as well and punch like he did against Montana Love. So he's got some versatility there, Liam. It depends. Look, I think he's a great chance against Teo, but I still, as I said before, still think Teo at this stage from me, I know you've got it 50-50. I'd probably have it 55-45 for me, even 60-40 for Teo at this stage. I still don't think today saw Teofimo Lopez get out of probably third or fourth gear. I think he still had another one or two to go. And again, he seems to fight to the level of his opponent. So you just don't know what you're going to get. But either way, I would just love to see that fight like you, Larry. I think it'd be great. All right, so Bam Rodriguez is in the ring, and we're just awaiting the ring entrance of Juan Francisco Estrada. This is going to be a dynamic fight. All right, Larry, perhaps a title defense for Liam Paro against Arnold Barboza. Yeah, no, I don't mind that. Barboza is a pretty ordinary opponent, would be a decent fight in Australia. Well, that's what I would think they would get for, or who they would look at for Paro, Larry. I think they would look at someone like a Barboza who's got a name, he's well-credentialed, but not necessarily a real threat. The golden rule is when you fight a homecoming, you fight someone that's very winnable. Although, having said that, it didn't really end well for Subriel Matias, did it? They would have thought, oh, we'll have the homecoming against this unknown Australian Liam Paro and we'll look good. And so that means I can get in there and rap with my mates on the ring apron, take 15 minutes to get in the ring and all this sort of stuff and wave to the crowd and then forget what you're actually there to do. So, all right, the football, we are all squared up at 6-8-44 apiece, by the way. So Juan Francisco Estrada making his way to the ring. And I remember who was it who fought? I think I've again said on here a few times, I always bring up these things. Back in 2017, I was at the StubHub Center in Carson, California with the Maloney boys and Uncle Ronnie Picken and Tony Tolge. And we went to the Superfly tournament at the StubHub. What a show. It was amazing. And I can't remember. This is the fights we saw. We saw Rung Vasai knock out Chocolatito Gonzalez. We saw Juan Francisco Estrada against Carlos Quadros. We saw Naoya Inoue with a 6-round stoppage of Antonio Nieves. And we saw Brian Valoria. I remember, yep, he won over Miguel Cartagena. And the girls, Sinicia Estrada. I remember seeing her. She was really good as well. She won an 8-round decision over Anahi Torres. So to think that you had Chocolatito up against Rung Vasai, you had Estrada against Quadros, and Naoya Inoue on the card as well. It was a big, big show. It was amazing. What the double co-main event though? Look at that: Estrada, Quadros, Rung Vasai, Chocolatito. Crazy. All right, so in the ring now, both fighters, and we're getting the introductions, and away we go. All right, thanks, Kane. Good Aussie boxing YouTuber. Thanks, mate. Make sure you watch Monday nights for Talking Boxing as well. 7 o'clock live, I'm on. And a few other bits and pieces I do as well. I normally do the weekly roundup as well. I couldn't actually do it on Friday. I had a bit on. But we've got a bit of other content coming as well. On Wednesday as well, by the way, guys, I will be doing live at 7 o'clock. The fictional, actually, no, it's the end of the month. So I was going to do the fictional 5 versus 5, Top Rank versus Golden Boy, who would fight and what the results would be. But I think this week we might do the rankings. There's been a bit go on. I think at the end of every month I will do the Australian and world rankings. And maybe even throw in a few of the big fights that haven't been made that could possibly be made for the rest of the year. So if you want to join in on Wednesday night from 7 o'clock, make sure you tune in. Yeah, BJ, Barboza has been mentioned with Paro previously. Yeah, he has. But isn't the good thing now is that Paro is the one that says, I want to fight him or I want to fight him or I want to go down this route. When you've got a belt, it's amazing the doors that can open. Before this, he must fight such and such guy in pretty much his opponent's hometown or home country, or whatever it might be. And now he's the one that holds the card. So he's worked hard to get there, like George Kambosos did it the hard way, like the Maloney boys did it the hard way on the road. And good on him for now getting that belt. And let's hope those doors open for him. All right, so we're about to have the the fighter introductions. Forgive me if I'm looking down, by the way, guys. I might see if I can go and get something I can prop my phone on so I'm not looking down. There we go. Yeah, we're cooking. All right. All right, final predictions, guys. I have Bam Rodriguez winning by, I'm going to say, 12-round decision. Could possibly be a late round stoppage, but I just think and maybe hope that someone like Estrada doesn't get stopped. It's amazing to think as well, you look at the sliding doors. Andrew Maloney was supposed to fight Carlos Quadros on the Kambosos and Loma undercard. And, of course, that was switched a month or so out, or a couple of months out. And he had to fight, what was his name? The other Mexican guy again. And obviously it didn't go his way. But who knows, if he had fought Quadros and maybe beaten Quadros, he was probably there to be taken. Is his name being sort of mentioned as a potential opponent of these guys? So, again, you're only as good as your last fight. And sometimes when you think it's all over for you, Pedro Guevara was his opponent, who lost to Quadros as well, by the way. Yeah, you're only as good as your last fight, as I said, and who knows what might have happened. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. I think I can have a bit of volume without getting flagged. I'm sure I should be fine. The fight starts now. All right, Andy, who you got there, mate? Bam, for me, would like to see Estrada defy the odds, though, to be honest. I'm with you there, mate. Look, I suppose what I'm probably looking at more than anything, I think I'd like to see Rodriguez win, but I would like to see, because I think we've got some big fights for him coming up, and he is the future, of course. Not really the future, he's present, but more going into the future. I would like to see Estrada's put up a great effort and go out on his shield, lose a tough, hard 12-round decision, and he can go off and do what he wants. All right, so they're introducing Jesse Bam Rodriguez with Robert Garcia in his corner. So well, we all know he can fight, but whenever you got Robert Garcia in the corner, you've been guaranteed that the guy can fight, no matter who it is. Such a great relationship he has with his fighters as well. It's just one big family. They all hang around at the gym, and they're all like, Robert Garcia is almost like a father figure to them all, and it's such a great relationship he has with all his fighters. And you can see why when they get in the ring that they fight for him as well. Because he's just one of the boys, but he doesn't take any shit. All right, as I introduce Juan Francisco Estrada. Yeah, 2-division world champion. All right. There he is. So Juan Francisco Estrada, the cornermen say, come on, let's go. Kane is tipping Estrada by KO. Tripping out. It's a big fight, Kane. And this is why, if they had been head-to-head, it would have been this fight all day over Lopez, no matter what the circumstances were for our guys. As the boys come to center ring, crowd sounds awesome, electric. Now, this is in Phoenix, Arizona, I think, and I was in Arizona for Liam Wilson and Oscar Valdez. Oh, just amazing. Mexican fans, the best fans you can get. I'd love to actually see a Mexican crowd versus a British crowd, to be honest. very similar, but the Mexicans, they just love their boxing. All right, so about ready to go for round number 1. The guys touch gloves back in the corners, and the bell sounds, I think. Here we go. Round number 1. WBC Super Flyweight title, Juan Francisco Estrada, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Rodriguez is southpaw, Estrada orthodox. And you would expect both these guys to feel each other out, I would think, for 2 or 3 rounds. Both very similar type of fighters, very explosive, hard nuts, as most, or nearly all Mexicans are. And the crowd, you can just hear, is amazing. Bam, just slightly more aggressive, although Estrada does throw the 1-2 there. And the lead hook. As I said, I just get the feeling we might have a bit of a chess match for the first 2 or 3 rounds. These guys would have so much respect for each other. And Bam, just content, just looks like he's the more cautious at this stage, just poking out the jab. Don't forget, Estrada is the bigger man. Although they look very similar in size. I'm assuming they weighed in exactly the same. Good jab by Bam. And yet very much a feeling out round. Both guys content just to have a nice high guard, poke out the jab, nice and tight. And you can just see the respect between these guys. And rightfully so. Bam, yep. I would say probably 8 rounds to 4, Larry, but either way, I'm sure we're going to get a great fight. Estrada with a hook to the head, hook to the body. And he misses, and Bam makes him pay with a 1-2. Good punches from Rodriguez there. And Bam comes forward now. I was just going to say it's going to be a chess match, but it doesn't look like it now. But a minute to go in round number 1. And Bam coming forward. Throws a left uppercut from the southpaw stance as Estrada's on the ropes. And Bam, I think just having the better of it at the moment. Still a feeling out round with a couple little bursts in there, but nice counter left hand from Bam. Looks a little bit quicker than Estrada. Although Mexicans, most of them tend to start slow early and then they pick up the pace as the fight goes on. Nice 1-2 from Estrada. Estrada lands the left and Rodriguez lands the right. So we've got 15 seconds to go in round number 1. Very tough to score opening round. Nice little sneaky uppercut there from Bam. And that's the end of round number 1. Oh. Look, it's a tough round to score. We had Rodriguez, who was the sharper, but Estrada, who's just that ultimate professional, experienced, veteran type of fighter, who's just nice and tight, picks his shots, just waits, doesn't get rattled by anything that Bam throws. Bam seemed a little bit more anxious to me. Of course, this is probably his biggest fight to date. So he was probably the slightly more aggressive. Did get tagged with a couple of counters, but I just thought a sneaky left hand there from Bam. A couple of little uppercuts in there. So I'm just going to give that round slightly to Bam Rodriguez, but very, very close round. And as we're going there, I'm going to put up my scorecard. So, same thing again, Rodriguez coming forward. And Estrada just quite content just to take his time, have a good look at the young bloke or young fella. And the crowd, you can just hear them, are just going crazy at the moment. So not much happening to start the round, although Bam does land a solid jab, misses the uppercut there. You can definitely see the difference in speed early, but as the fight goes on, that will become less of a factor. As fatigue starts to kick in, Rodriguez will probably slow down just a little bit with his speed. Estrada will find his groove. He's backing up at the moment, Estrada. It just seems just a little bit weary of the power of Bam so far. Not really looking to open up at all. He's been very conservative. Nice high guard. Does land a lead right hand there, though. Misses another one. And Bam, he does look pretty confident. As Bam comes forward, lands a jab and a little hook over the top of the lead left hand from Estrada. He just looks just a step short at the moment, Estrada. And Bam looking very comfortable. We've got just under a minute to go in round number 2. Left hand counter from Bam just misses. And Bam with a nice double jab there. And Estrada misses a 1-2. Estrada backing up. We've got 30 seconds to go, round number 2. And I think a good round from Bam so far. Not a lot of big punches landed, but just he's snuck in a little uppercut or snuck in a little hook, and Estrada's just had trouble getting his range. Though he does open up now. As I said, I sort of expected this from the guys earlier. Rodriguez would win the early rounds because Estrada's a bit of a slow starter and tends to find his groove as the fight goes on. But I've got to say, so far, Bam's probably having a little bit more success than what I thought he might have. So look, I've given both of the opening 2 rounds to Bam Rodriguez. I'm going to put my scorecard up there. I forgot to do that earlier. So that's how I have it at the moment. Hope that makes sense there. All right, my unofficial little scorecard there. Rodriguez 20, Estrada 18. But they have been close rounds, both of them. I just think Bam's just been a little sharper, a little bit quicker to the punch. And I just think so far, Estrada's just struggled with the speed and the pace that Bam has set. But I have no doubt, as the fight goes on, once Estrada gets his into his groove, you'll see it start to even up, and we'll have an absolute war in our hands. I've got no doubt. All right, so round number 3. Bam continuing to come forward, snapping out that right jab. Leads with a right hook there. And Estrada throws an overhand right, but it's really easily picked off by Bam. Just looking to come forward, leads with an uppercut, Estrada, but just looks so much slower than Bam at the moment. Very, very sharp does Bam. So a minute down in round number 3. Good right hook to the body from Bam. Nice hook from Bam. And Estrada might be in a bit of trouble here. Another left hand, right hook. Estrada definitely in some trouble here. And a 1-2 again from Bam. Coming forward, and Estrada, it looks like he's recovered, but definitely was rocked there, and he's stuck in that corner at the moment. It's fighting back, but again, that difference in speed is just so dramatic, or so stark, I think. Estrada trying to fight back. But you can see Bam just really in that killer mode at the moment, looking for the finishing shot. Showing heart though, Estrada. A good strategy from Bam. Didn't get excited, didn't rush in for the kill. He's just taking his time. Estrada looks like he's recovered slightly now, but definitely felt the effects there. Another left hand from Bam. We've got 45 seconds to go, round number 3. I like the way too that Bam he punches and he turns Estrada, just pivots off to his right and doesn't give Estrada a chance to set. So 30 to go in round number 3. Has awoken Estrada, I will say. Has picked up the pace a little bit, but hasn't really landed anything of note. And Bam continues to throw those snappy jabs and little uppercuts and hooks inside. So we've got 10 seconds to go, round number 3. And a good round for Rodriguez, and he easily goes underneath that right hand from Estrada. So there it is, the end of round number 3. And I think another round for Bam Rodriguez. Corner not happy with Estrada. Let's see. Let's see if he can box his way out of it. I'm just going to put my score as a rolling. Oh, hang on, that's not right. All right, that's more like it. There we go. Oh, geez, hang on. Let's slow that down a little bit. There we go. All right, guys, so there's, not sure why. All right, so we're going to round number 4. All right, so you can see my scorecard on the bottom there. I'll speed up just a little bit. So Estrada just looking to pick it up a little bit, but so far, again, the difference in speed is just telling. There's a low blow. Estrada gets warned for that. Yep, accidental. Actually, it might have been from Bam, was it? Estrada taking his full time to recover. All right, here we go. The referee says, let's go, boys. There he is, Kane. Very accurate puncher. Yep, a lot snappier, Andy. Just got that explosive speed too, Bam. Just that 1-2, and there's a nice right uppercut. Estrada comes back with a hook and a right, but Bam easily avoids them. Just falling short just by an inch or two, but and Bam makes him pay. And we're seeing a little different here from Bam as well, where he's not going all out for the knockout. I know he gives Estrada enough respect to not do that, but also at the same time not showing a lot of respect for what Estrada actually has to offer him, if that makes sense. So halfway through round number 4. And Estrada still looking, Bam still looking super sharp, and Estrada just falling short, just missing the target by an inch or two. Reminds me a lot of Marquez does Estrada, Juan Manuel Marquez. Not very fast, but just efficient. Good placement of his punches, leads with uppercuts and hooks to the body, well-timed right hands. But against Bam, he's just falling short. And I like the little side steps that Bam's doing as well. Just little step to the side and bang. So we have 40 seconds to go in round number 4. Better round from Estrada so far. But, oh, there's a beautiful uppercut and a left hand from Bam Rodriguez, and down goes Estrada. Is this going to be the end? He's up. He looks okay, but that was a beautiful shot. All right, let's see if Bam can finish the job here. He's very vulnerable to Estrada. You know he's going to show heart. There's a 1-2 and an uppercut from Bam. He's down again, but no knockdown. Tripped over the front foot of Rodriguez, and there's the end of round number 4. Big round for Bam Rodriguez. So it's 35-40. So a 10-8 round for Rodriguez. Let's see what he has left. Because so far, been a very dominating performance. Espinosa Alvarado, he says Rodriguez by unanimous decision. Just a beautiful. It's not looking that way by the way. Not looking like it's going to end that way by the way Espinosa. So it was a left uppercut and then a straight left hand, and down he went. Left uppercut just got his attention, and a left hand just boom hit him right on the spot. All right, so round number 5. And you sense that Bam is going to try and finish the job here. He's coming forward. He started fast. And Estrada again, he just looks slow. And again, he looks very vulnerable. And you just get the impression that Rodriguez is going to land another one here at any stage. He's just countering. Well, he leads, he lands. When he counters, he lands. Those really sharp jabs followed by those uppercuts and hooks. The commentators just said then that Bam was landing 50% of his power punches. You know that Estrada's going to hang in there, but Rodriguez, just a phenomenal young fighter. He's got all the tools. He's got speed. He's got power. He's got great footwork, good defense. There's a little... Goes a little overhand left and a right hook to the body. Estrada's, look, he's trying. He's uppercut and hooking in close. He just went to the body there, but he's just having trouble penetrating Bam's defense. Halfway through round number 5. So they get told to keep the punches up. It's become a real inside fight now. And a left hand hurts Estrada. And an uppercut, body shot. He's in all sorts of trouble here, Estrada. He's fighting back though, but just so crisp punches by Bam Rodriguez. Right, hook, left uppercut. Estrada in the corner, in trouble. So 45 seconds to go in round number 5. There's just been one-way traffic and multiple punches from Rodriguez there, and Estrada in all sorts of trouble here. Does come back with a right hand, but Bam just doing what he wants at the moment. 30 to go in round 5, and I'm not quite sure we're going to be around here much longer, guys. And the crowd is really starting to chant for Bam Rodriguez. Stellar performance so far. Estrada, look, he's fighting back, but just nothing really penetrating the defense of Bam. 10 seconds to go, round number 5. Just a one-sided fight so far. All right, there is the end of round number 5. And another round for Bam Rodriguez. Just update my scorecard there. I'm not sure it's going to even matter, to be honest, guys, but I'll update it anyway. Where are we? So 40... And look, just been an unbelievable performance so far from Bam Rodriguez. He's been faster. He's been more precise with his punches. He's just had Estrada covered in every single department. This is something you haven't really seen with Estrada, where he's just been rocked and hurt and knocked down. He's been hurt multiple times by Rodriguez and just hasn't been in the fight so far. All right, here we go. Round number 6. Oh, and Estrada lands a right-hander. Down goes Rodriguez. Wow, the first 15 seconds. Estrada lands the right hand and Bam goes down. He doesn't look hurt. It looks like it was a shock knockdown. Wow. Let's see what Estrada's got. And the crowd is going nuts at the moment. Bam doesn't look hurt at all, though. He's pretty much laughing it off. But it was a beautiful right hand. Landed right on the button. I could just imagine what the atmosphere would be like in the arena at the moment. It would just be intense. It'd be unbelievable. And Rodriguez fights back. Could be, it is, Andy. It is a great fight so far. So it's been one-sided so far, but that's how fights can turn. As I said, I don't think Bam was overly hurt. He does land his own left uppercut there. Yeah, I don't think he was hurt, but Estrada did what a great champion does. He dug deep and dropped him with a right hand. Beautiful right hand it was. So we're halfway through round number 6. And Rodriguez looks like he's not happy about the knockdown, comes forward. But either way, it looks, unless it's a dramatic turnaround, it's going to be a 10-out round for Estrada. Nice right hook to the body from Bam, and Estrada comes back with a left hook, overhand right. And you almost get the impression that the fact that Rodriguez has now really started to close it up with Estrada just gives Estrada a bit more of a chance, because early on, Bam was in and out. Does land a nice uppercut inside, does Bam. But yeah, early on, Bam was in and out. Now he's just pretty much standing right in front of Estrada, and it's just allowing him to be able to hook to the head and to the body. So 30 to go in round number 6. It's a tough round to score because I think Bam has won the round since being knocked down. He's coming forward. Estrada hooks and uppercuts, but Rodriguez is just some beautiful punches inside. We've got 10 seconds to go. And that is the end of round number 7. 6, 7. 6. All right, so what's that? 9, 9. Although it is a 10-point must system. No, I'm gonna. Yeah, no, we'll give the round to Estrada. So what's that mean? So 54, 58. Yeah, beautiful shot. Rodriguez definitely had his moments after that, but all right, so 54, 58. All right. Second half of the fight. Yes, he does, Andy. He looks tired, all right, doesn't he? All right. Round number 7. And that knockdown could have been the worst thing that actually happened to Estrada because Rodriguez is now saying, right, you wanted a fight, now you're going to get a fight. Now I'm mad. Now the angles, and Rodriguez has started very fast here. Low blow from Estrada. The referee didn't see it. He was on the wrong side. And Rodriguez coming forward. Estrada does look tired. He's on the ropes. Look, he's trying his hardest. He's going with him. He is, look, throwing hooks and body shots, but not really landing a lot. But he's hanging in there, is Estrada. But Bam does look a lot fresher. All right, so we're a minute into round number 7. And it's an interesting one because Bam has put all the pressure on, but I think Estrada's the one that's actually landed the better punches. Having said that, though, Bam does come forward and lands a left hand. But, yeah, it's been a good round so far. All right, so about a minute 15 to go in round number 7. It's definitely a round up for grabs at the moment. I think Bam's been a lot more aggressive, but I just think Estrada's just landed some good little punches inside and just has not, or he's refused to go away. Although Rodriguez does land an uppercut and a straight left there. Another left hand there from Bam. Big shots being thrown by both guys inside. So 45 to go in round number 7. Yeah, Kane, some big uppercuts in there. Low blows as well. So Bam still definitely looks the faster of the two guys and more explosive, but Estrada, because Rodriguez is in his zone, Estrada is having some success with those uppercuts and hooks in close. I think so far, with 15 to go, I still think maybe Bam has won this round, but definitely an entertaining round, that's for sure. As we come to the end of round number 7. And down goes Estrada with a body shot, was it? And that might be it. Yep, that is it. It is all over. Right on the bell. What a knockout win by Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Just like that, he's knocked out Juan Francisco Estrada, and we have a new WBC Super Flyweight champion. Great performance by Jesse Bam Rodriguez. I think it was round number 7, wasn't it? Yeah. I just happened to look away right at the last second. I'll just put up the result here. Just a great win by Bam Rodriguez. And I hate to say it, but he almost made Estrada look second rate. That's how dominant he was. And I don't like saying that about any great fighter like Estrada, but that's what he did. I'm just waiting for the replay again here. Good thing is Estrada's okay. Yeah, Bam's all right, Andy, that's for sure. Yeah, demolition. Just one-sided. Completely one-sided. Oh, there we go. We've got another thumbs down. Thanks, guys. So it was a body shot, left to the body. I think the first one got his attention, and the next one got him out of there. To the one to the body, he was able to wear that one and then bang to the body. Yeah, it was amazing, Kane. A big knockout to the body. Well, the good thing is at least it was to the body, which means Estrada doesn't come out too, I suppose, hurt. But that was, big body shot. And the worst ones, of course, are the ones you don't see, and he didn't see it. The first one sort of hurt him, and the second one got him out of there. And it's great to see, too, the respect from both guys. What's that? Achilles? That's what I expected. I told people that inactivity and age would be a serious issue here. Yeah. Yeah, look at really when you think about it, he's cleaned out the division now. He's had Estrada, well, apart from Chocolatito, he's had Estrada, he's had Rungvisai. Now these are the older Quadros. He's had those older opponents. Did he fight Quadros? Did I say that? No, whatever it was. But he's cleaned out the division. I know he's still got maybe Chocolatito, but apparently Chocolatito is moving up to 118. So we'll see what happens there. So, yeah, big win from, fantastic. That's for sure, Kane. So, there's just the official decision now. So, it must have went down right at 2 minutes 50 because it was 3 minutes of the 7th round. Matzi, yeah, where to? Good question. Maybe is it the Chocolatito fight? Sorry, I just said he's moving up. Sorry, take that back. What is he, super flyweight? Does he fight the Guevara, the one that just beat Andy? Although I know they're talking about rematches, but he's the interim champion, so maybe do they fight for the full belt? You wouldn't have thought that Rodriguez will go up again straight away or even go down, so that probably makes the most sense to me. He's cleaned out the division now. I'm not sure whether he gives Sonny Edwards another crack at it. I know he's probably... What weight was that at? Not quite sure. But, that would probably make the most sense at the moment, Mutzi. And that is if the WBC don't follow through and force a rematch with Andrew Maloney. I think it was more of a goodwill thing from Guevara to offer the fight or the rematch to Maloney, but you would think that if Bam Rodriguez came calling, you would think that Guevara would fight Bam instead. Yeah. Just interviewing Bam Rodriguez there, so that's it. All right, guys, well, we might call it a day at that. 7th round knockout to Jesse Bam Rodriguez. An excellent performance from him. Look, I thought right from the word go, I thought that Estrada, I did expect him to start slowly, and I thought that Rodriguez would definitely win a lot of the early rounds, but I thought the stoppage might have come maybe a little bit later, but again, I did think that maybe Estrada might hang in there for the 12 rounds. But what a performance from Rodriguez! He showed that he carried the weight really well, carried his power up, his speed. I think just the difference in his footwork, the speed of his punches, the power of his punches. I just don't think you look at all those great fighters that Estrada's fought over the years, and none of those fighters could do to him what Rodriguez did to him tonight. So just a super talent. I'm not sure there's anyone that could beat him. Just how good would it be to see him maybe go up again to maybe 118? I'm just going to quickly bring up the rankings. I just want to see, because the super flies and flies are always a little bit touching as far as who's doing what, because I've got the Japanese fighters in there as well. I'll just have a quick look at the division. So we've got, as a super flyweight. So, all right, so we now have Rodriguez as champion. Pedro Guevara, as I said, is the interim champion. You've got Chocolatito, but he's moving up. He's already dealt with Rungvisai. He's probably about it in the WBC. But you got that's it. Ioka from Japan with the WBA title, and also Tanaka, who's got the WBO belt. So they're definitely some potential opponents. And when you think about all the money and everything getting around in Japan at the moment, I know we all talk about Saudi Arabia, what's happening over there, but don't underestimate what Japan is being able to do at the moment, those big shows and the big money that they have going on there over there at the moment, and the quality of fighters. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Bam looks at maybe a fight in Japan against either Ioka or Tanaka. So just trying to look at the others. So apart from Chocolatito, there's not really much around for him, I wouldn't have thought. But geez, if you look at 118, there's a fair few. There's Nakatani, there's Inoue. This is Takuma Inoue. Takai. Some big fights there for him. So there it is. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to call it a day at that. It's been great to have you all along for the stream. I hope you enjoyed spending, what's it been, 2.5 hours with me today. I love getting on here. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head when the next one will be. Most likely the Australian. Who's on soon? The Nathaniel May fight's been cancelled, so it might be the one after that. But anyway, I'll let you know. Just make sure you tune in on a Monday night for Talking Boxing. Every Monday at 7 p.m. Look out as well on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. This week will be the ratings of the world and Australia, the pound for pound, that is. And then lots of other stuff to follow as well. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in, and look forward to joining you at the fights next time. Thanks, guys.